Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a very special Matchday Live here on the Toon Review, as it is, of course, Cup Final Day. And as you can see there, Billy is all out Manchester City for this one. Of course, it means a lot to Newcastle, this game. It defines our season. Manchester City win, we go into Europe. Manchester United win, we don't. So obviously, we are all for City today because we want to be in Europe next season. We want to be around in the European games, whether it's a conference or not. It doesn't bloody matter. We are going for it. Stato is just grabbing some lunch. He'll be with us very, very shortly. But if you do enjoy today's commentary, guys, please do hit that thumbs up button as per usual on Matchday Lives. And of course, if you're new to the channel, why not subscribe? As you can see there, we're starting this stream on 29,829. We are so close to 30,000, guys. So please do subscribe if you are new to the channel and you like what you see. We will endeavour to bring you the very best commentary this afternoon. So if you're watching it on the TV, knock the commentary off for the Manchester loving, and you can listen to us. What better way to spend your Saturday afternoon than listening to our thoughts and analysis of the game? You can become a member of the Toon Review by hitting the join button just underneath us. And of course, you can donate to the channel if you do so wish by that $ at the bottom of the live comments. And that will take you through to a payment method, and you would guarantee your comment to be read out on the show. Good afternoon, Billy.
Afternoon to everybody out there and all City fans today. Come on, lads.
Now, obviously, Billy, as we can definitely see, you are all in Manchester City today. Let's start and we'll run through the teams just so everybody knows who is playing. This is the way City line up this afternoon. Ortega is in goal. Walker, Stones, Ake, Gvardiol, Rodrigo, Kovacic, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Foden, and Haaland, Billy.
Very strong lineup, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, no Edison, Frax, Die Socket,
Yes.
him out. But Ortega probably would have played anyway. I think that's a full strength back four, except for I wouldn't have Ake and I'd have Diaz ahead of him. But still too good for Manchester United. Rodrigo and Kovacic will sit in the sixes and allow Bruno, De Bruyne, Foden to play, and Bernardo. And Haaland's lethal, isn't he? Let's hope we get a few goals from these lads today.
Yeah, fingers crossed we do. Yeah, I mean, the look in a very, very strong side. As you said, Diaz not in the start 11. He's gone with Ake, which I don't particularly mind. No. I think Ake is pretty much good enough to handle what Manchester United threw at them, of course. This is how Manchester United line up. They go with Onana, Amrabat, Martinez, Fernandes, Rashford starts, Garnacho, Varane, Dalot, Wan-Bissaka, Menu, and McTominay.
Not very good. No striker in the side. No, it's going to be a long ball game for them, I think. Hoof it and let Rashford and Garnacho chase it, as they've played most of the games this season. No left back in the side.
Is Rashford the one that's going to play up front, do you think? I wonder.
No, I don't think so. I think it'll be like they played against us with no centre forward. It's going to be negative football from them. They do have some strength back in the defence. Martinez back and also Varane. And Casemiro apparently was named on the bench and then suddenly cried off with injury for some reason.
Yeah, very strange.
So, bit of disenchantment in the camp there, no doubt about that.
Yeah. And of course, nobody knows what's going to happen with the Manchester manager after the game. Of course, let's not forget that this has happened before, of course, with Van Gaal. When he did his press conference after the game and said he'd been fired. So maybe history repeats itself today. But Alex, what do you make of that Manchester United side?
It's very much what we had to face, isn't it? They beat us through sheer luck. They were fortunate that we had an off day in front of goal, and everything that went towards our goal just went in. It does happen sometimes in football. Over the course of a season, you get found out over 38 matches, which they have done, because you can't get lucky. You can get lucky maybe in a cup competition or for certain matches, but over 38 games have been found out. They were 8th, and I think they were generously 8th as well. I think they're probably in terms of sort of a mid-table side for output. But yeah, against Manchester City, I mean, Manchester City are better than us, so they're far more technically sound. They don't have the sort of rotation players that are going to slip up like we did. They don't have a Dubravka, they've got an Ortega. So as long as they play their own game and don't get too, a lot of teams get deer in headlights against Manchester United. They get scared of the occasion or the badge or the shirt colour. No need to be scared, Man City. You've beaten them a million times. You've won a bunch of trophies. just show you quality, and Man City should win this game, hopefully.
Well, just to say that Wembley is not full yet, by the way. I think somebody's singing. I don't know whether it's Amazing Grace. Obviously, I've got to keep the sound off, but Wembley is still many empty seats. And this will anger me if Wembley's not full for the FA Cup final. It's another reason to be pissed off. But hopefully, all the fans are just finishing the drinks and crawling into Wembley now. Simon Yorkshire, thank you for your super chat. He says everything is crossed, broadcastable or not, for City to beat this entitled shower of shite and propel us into our second European season in a row.
I do have something to say, Paul, as well. But this is very dependent on what happens with this score. I have done a bit of prep work, and I'm going to do an instant Patreon. Possibly depends who wants to join me from you two above on the Conference League pots on who's in pot 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to do a quick 20 minutes, 30 minutes for the Patreon, for the patrons in terms of who's in each pot. But obviously, that very much depends on who wins this game. So we're going to wait before we record that and we release that, guys.
Yes, I think what Alex is saying, ladies and gentlemen, is if Manchester United win this game, we couldn't give a shit what the pots are, to be quite honest.
Who cares who chance I get? Who cares?
Yeah. Billy, are you intending keeping this accent up all day, or are you just
probably not? No.
Okay. Scott says, hi, Paul. Just got back from Melbourne a few hours ago. There was a lot of disgruntled fans at Friday's game. $200 a ticket to watch the under-21s is not acceptable. $200. I didn't know it was that much.
Didn't realize it was that much, yeah.
Wowzers. Jam Stash is saying, is Billy streaming from the beach? I think he wishes he was.
I wish he was, yeah.
The teams are in the tunnel ready to come out as we look at the plough. Which is, of course, Bruno Fernandes. Pedro's going 5-0 to Manchester City.
Yeah, it's a cup final, local derby. I don't think it's going to be that. I hope it is, but cup finals, you get funny results. I'm hoping it's not today that's going to happen. Who could not forget the Wigan game against Man City many years ago?
Well, yeah, but of course, Manchester United shouldn't even be here. Let's be honest. It should be the Sky Blue of Coventry. But it isn't. Of course, the songs Abide With Me, not Amazing Grace. How long have I been on this planet? Every year there's been a cup final, and I still said Amazing Grace. Unbelievable. We've got a super chat from Simon Muller. Thank you, Simon. New managers for Liverpool, Man United and Chelsea, and high-level European competition for Spurs and Villa. If we recruit well and have a good pre-season, we can push the top 2 next season. I'd like to
It's a conversation we've had, isn't it, before? We mentioned this at the back end of the season. How many goals did we score in the 80s? Something like that. It's the most goals we've scored. So in terms of output, we're profiling similar to the top 3.
Yeah.
Defensively, we're massively lacking. So a lot of neutrals will call us crazy for even suggesting it. But obviously, if we can retain our attacking numbers and improve our defensive sort of record by 10, 20 goals, then there's no reason why we can't be in that chasing pack of 3. Doesn't mean we're going to be challenging for a title, but we might be able to keep a little bit closer to your Arsenals and Cities next year. But again, it depends on a lot of things. So it's very much maybes at this point.
Well, Prince William is Will.i.am is shaking hands with all the players. He is a Villa fan, of course he is, yeah. We have 5 gifted Toon Review memberships from John Sorby. Thank you very, very much, John. That is incredibly kind. Please do, if you are recruited, if you are I don't know what the word is, but if you've got a one off them, then just say hello and thank you. I think we have a Man United fan in the chat. I love the way, but you seem to hate Manchester United so much, like this rival, when there's not. I couldn't give 3 monkeys chuffs.
You're fucking shite, mate. Shite.
I really couldn't care about Manchester United. All I care about is you lose the game today.
We're not rivals. We just don't like Manchester United.
We just don't like you. And the way you sing about Mr. Shearer all the time is, I think you feel the same way. I couldn't give a toss whether there's a rivalry or not, quite honestly. So thank you for trying to wind us up, but you failed.
Bit below us, mate, to be fair.
Yeah.
I remember when we were that shit.
I'm a bit dizzy with that hype, Billy. I mean,
I remember when we were that shit, mate. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly. Burnley finished 8th under Dyche, didn't they? Or close to, maybe we might have even been 7th at one point. So
we've been there. Trolls, thank you for your super chat. Hope we get Europe, but Man United might have stolen the look of the Irish again. No. I'm not even thinking that way. Keith says, hi, guys. Generally nervous about this one. We all know who should win, but this is Man Shite, the luckiest team ever. Claire says, is this City to have to win in the 90 minutes for us to get conference? It was Casey saying it. No.
Just got to win the FA Cup.
I think he wrote that in a Word document as a joke. It was a joke.
Yeah, but he's also come out with some absolute shite lately that he's completely wrong on. So, yeah. So
I think it was just a joke, guys. Don't worry about it.
It doesn't matter. He still spouts shite. Wembley is empty because it's two small clubs playing in the final. Ouch. Listen, I'm not slagging Man City off this afternoon.
I beg to differ, man. I beg to differ.
Yeah, we are Blues fans for the next 90 minutes, guys, or beyond if it does go beyond. Mark says, good afternoon from the South Coast. Just been watching Goldbridge for 10 minutes, and now I am depressed. Glad to be here on the Toon Review. Thank you, Mark. You're on the right channel. Anthony's going 5-2 to City. Let's hope it is. I mean, I'd be comfortable if it's around 3-0 to City at halftime. I'll be breathing a little bit more easier. Jazz says it'll be just like Man United to win the final. They shouldn't even be in. Stu lad, good afternoon to you, buddy. Fucanelli says, I thought it was Liam Gallagher for a second.
Yeah, put a bit of weight on.
Nobody's doing the national anthem this time.
Yeah. Edward Gaunt, thank you very much for your super chat. Thanks for doing this. Up the City. Absolutely. So just to go through Man City's side again, Ortega starts in goal, Walker, Stones, Ake, Gvardiol, Rodri and Kovacic in front of them. A front three of Silva, De Bruyne and Foden with, of course, the lone striker of Haaland. A very strong bench as well. They've got Diaz there, Grealish, Doku, Alvarez, Akanji, Nunes, Bob and Lewis. I mean, Jesus
bench,
Christ.
isn't it? That's insane.
It makes you want to cry, doesn't it? Let's be honest. I mean, it's not fair.
I hope Ortega doesn't get injured, though, because Scott Carson will have to come on then.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's signed a new contract with them and all, hasn't he? Craig Wright, who's been a member for 6 months, says, come on the Blues. Manchester United line up Onana, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez, Dalot, Amrabat in front of them, Menu and McTominay, and a front three of Garnacho, Fernandez and Rashford. So they've got front three. So the BBC have put that out. So let's see. Let us see.
It does look like they're trying to do what they did against us with Man United with Fernandez and McTominay kind of further up, trying to win the aerial duels. We'll see pretty early doors in the first few minutes if that's how they're going to play. But
Ratcliffe.
Oh, right. Oh, is he there? Is he?
Although Varane's back in, so that it will be slightly different to our game for people obviously watch the game. Amrabat was a centre half against us, whereas now Varane's in, so Amrabat's going to shift into midfield, possibly join a back five when they're being attacked, but slightly different.
Queen of Hearts, thank you for yet another 10 Toon Review memberships gifted. Really incredible generosity. Thank you so much. Really
doing on the right channel today, Mary.
Yeah, he's on the right. She's on the right channel, which we knew she would be. We have dedication in our mod squad. Dedication, that's what you need. If you want to be the best. I can't remember the rest of the words.
If you want to beat the rest, dedication's what you need.
I had a win for England as well, because we want Foden and Stones to be nice and happy after today's game, don't we?
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely do. Andy Madley is the referee.
Fucking no. Not that it matters.
No. Man City have just exited their huddle. Manchester United ready to go. As we go on a fly around Wembley Stadium here on the drone. Makes you a bit seasick, that. Guys, do subscribe if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner as we trundle towards 30,000 subscribers. We want that 30,000 party, guys. Let's try and get there. It is Man City who are going to kick us off. They'll be kicking from left to right. And, of course, if you are watching it and listening to our commentary, don't put any spoilers in the chat, guys, until we have actually commentated on it. As we are underway at Wembley.
Come on, City.
Come on, City. I mean, this is huge. I think if you're not a Newcastle fan watching this final, then I don't know where you are, to be honest, because this is massive for us as Rashford immediately breaks forward. And Rashford could be in here, but Kyle Walker using his pace. And that was a little bit of squeaky bum time there. But Rashford, Rashford almost outpaced Kyle Walker for a second there. And here is Kyle Walker again, bursting forward, cuts inside, going on a little bit of a mazy run. De Bruyne flicks it on for Haaland, and here comes City. McTominay trying to knock Haaland off the ball. So's Amrabat. They just bounce off him like 10-pin balls. And a cross comes in, and Haaland goes down. Was he nudged in the back there? He feels he was. He is claiming penalty, guys.
VAR will look at it, but I don't think it was myself.
I am a little bit behind you guys because I'm not on a TV. So
that's all right. Don't worry. You can still comment on it when you see it, though, Alex. But I mean, was this a push? I mean, there's a nudge there, but I'm not sure.
There is. Yeah, there is. There is a nudge, but I don't think there's enough to overturn. To be fair,
Pep Guardiola is convinced, but VAR not, and play goes on. So a very, very early talking point in the first couple of minutes of the game there.
Penalty against Man United. Are you having a laugh?
Yeah, lad. I mean,
I've just seen it as well, and that does look like a push in the back.
It does. He does look like he sort of nudges him with his shoulder, doesn't he?
I think if Madley had given it, they wouldn't have overturned it. It's one of them.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. If the ref gives that initially, that doesn't get overturned.
Yeah, I agree. Anyway, it's back with Manchester United now, and they try and burst forward. But at the moment, it's back with Wan-Bissaka, and he knocks it back to Onana, who plays it out to... it's Onana, Billy. Interesting that they've got Varane and Martinez back in the. Of course, it's Varane's last game for Manchester United today, isn't it? That's a terrible pass, and City get it back. And Amrabat's tripped somebody over. What a shock!
I know. He got away with murder against us, didn't he?
Oh, did he not? Did he not? It was shambolic against us, actually. The amount of tackles that he got away, it was disgusting, actually. Here's John Stones for Manchester City. Plays it out to the left-hand side. Gvardiol. Back to Ake. In turn now to Bernardo Silva, who I think is a very underrated footballer. I wouldn't mind seeing him in a Toon shirt, you know.
Could be his last game for City today as well, couldn't it?
Yeah. There is talk, but here he is bursting forward. Rashford trying to come back. Knocked to Kyle Walker now as McTominay falls over. And Rodri plays a lovely ball out to the left-hand side of Gvardiol again. And now back to Kovacic. Rodri, little bump there from Bruno Fernandes, but he just laughs it off. John Stones now. And this is how I expect the game to go, actually. Just Man United trying to hit City on the break.
Yeah, low block and hoof it for the pace of Rashford and Garnacho.
Well, the ball is with Kovacic at the minute, and across to John Stones, who brings it over the halfway line for Manchester City. Plenty forward ahead of him. Bernardo Silva now down this right-hand side. Knocks it back to Kyle Walker. I mean, one thing City will be doing, guys, they'll not be rushing anything, will they? They'll be very patient with the build-up and look for that killer pass.
Yeah, very, very patient side, aren't they? They just don't want. They never lose the ball, do they? They just keep hold of it as long as possible. They're trying to pull the low block out. Is what they're trying to do. Man United, I don't think will do it, but sooner or later, there'll be a killer pass, and I'll find it.
Well, this is why I want Manchester City to score, because it'll open the game up, and Man United would have to come out eventually, and I think that's when City would just take control of the game. But I mean, City are patient, aren't they? They never panic or anything like that. They get stuck in straight away, and they've got to throw in midway through the Manchester United half here, and that's all the way back to John Stones. Across to Ake. I mean, I reckon there's a few Manchester City players that are a little bit underrated. But one guy, lads, who was announced his retirement at the end of the Euros is a very underrated striker, in my opinion, and that's Olivier Giroud.
Yeah.
Retiring at the end of the Euros. Now, is that from football or is that just from international? Because it didn't really say.
I think internationals.
I think it's just France. I don't think he's as much underrated anymore. Possibly still in this country, but obviously he did help win the league with AC Milan. So I think generally the opinion is a lot more positive elsewhere. It's just people remember him for his time in the Premier League and possibly a little bit underrated here.
I mean, I've played a few of his goals on social media, and I mean, you have to say, I mean, remember that scorpion kick for Arsenal was sensational. But he scored quite a few volleys in his time as well, and overhead kicks.
He could play till he's 45 because he's never had any pace when he was 21, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, I'd love to know what his skincare routine is, Billy, to be honest, because
I think it's the same as Royland's. Probably not the same as Royland's, to be fair, thinking about it.
Yeah, let's.
They do look alike, don't they?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, of course they do. But I mean, Olivier Giroud always looks like he's just stepped out of a beauty salon every time he comes out of a football ground. He's incredible. As Ake now for Manchester United again in the halfway on Man City. Man United definitely with this low blocker are just stifling City a little bit. You can tell that's the game plan. Just
they do this at home. They do this every game. It's boring as hell.
It is. It's not the Manchester United that we've certainly become accustomed to in the Premier League. But but here comes City now, and Bernardo Silva tracking Dalot. Dalot does well, gets it up to Menu. And Menu does very well to pull it into McTominay. McTominay's pass is diabolical, but luckily for him, Amrabat was there. And it's now played out to the right-hand side to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who can bring it forward for Manchester United. Kovacic comes over to cover him. And then they slow it right back down again. It's now with the who is it? The Butcher is Martinez? Is that what he's known as?
That's what they call him.
The Butcher.
The Butcher.
Yeah. And here is Bruno Fernandes out to Wan-Bissaka and turn down to Garnacho. And again, I don't
think Garnacho's as kind of clinical or as dangerous on that far side of the pitch on the right hand side. I think he's much better on the left.
The
same goes for Rashford, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know whether they'll be swapping around that front three during the match. I guess we'll see. They start off there, do what we maybe did when we didn't have a striker. Of course, Miggy and Gordon, etc., just changing positions every now and again. But while it's still at 0-0, then there's no real point in changing anything for Manchester United. As Onana hits it long, looking for Rashford, and Rashford again looking like he got the better of Kyle Walker, but then Walker just turns on the jets and makes a fool of Rashford. But in the forced City, they kicked the ball out of play, but I'm not sure whether that was a free kick or not. I think it's a free kick. But Rashford, there's no way Rashford can outpace Kyle Walker. I mean, there's no chance of that happening anyway. I mean, Walker is just. I mean, the pace of Kyle Walker is incredible. It really is incredible.
Hasn't lost a yard, has he?
No. He turns on the jets and he just disappears, man. Haaland now intercepted by Dalot. Rashford. Little back flick to Dalot. Then inside to McTominay. Nice bit of play there by Manchester United. On for Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes can go right to Garnacho. He is going to strike it. And it's straight at the goalkeeper. And that was a good opportunity there because either side, and that was probably 1-0 to Manchester United. He struck that beautifully.
It was a good attack from Manchester United, actually. The first one actually did anything in anger, wasn't it?
Yeah. Good positioning that by Ortega, though.
Yeah,
made the angle very difficult. You seen it, Stato?
Oh, yeah. Just coming up.
Man City won the league on your stream yet, Stato?
Yeah, there you go. I've just seen it.
Oh, great ball down the left-hand side now. And this is Foden. He whips the ball in towards Haaland. Martinez flicks it away. But just put it on top. I mean, Haaland will have the beating of Martinez every day of the week. The height difference is incredible. Bernardo Silva now into the penalty area. Left foot across towards the back post. And it's into the side netting from Phil Foden. But I think it was out anyway. And it's a goal kick to Manchester United. Good opportunity for Man United, Alex.
Well, I've not seen it yet, so
no, you must have seen the Garnacho shot.
The Man United one. Yeah, it was well worked. To be fair, Rashford with a little back heel, which is strange from him. And then they worked it across McTominay to Fernandes, and then Garnacho just hit it straight down Ortega's throat, and it was comfortably dealt with.
Yeah. Varane taking the goal kick, knocks it back to Onana, and. I don't see the point of doing that. But anyway, well intercepted by Phil Foden. That goes out for a Manchester United throw-in. I mean, I'd just be planting crosses on for Haaland every day of the week, jumping against Martinez, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's got the physicality as well, hasn't he?
100%.
But it is a throw-in to Manchester United. 10 minutes gone. We're goalless at Wembley. And the Newcastle United fans remain a nervous wreck. As Rashford chases down John Stones, but Stones heads it back to Ortega. He quickly gets rid of that to Kyle Walker, who breaks forward for City. Manu comes across to deal with Kyle Walker. And it's back to Rodri, and he plays it across now to Kovacic. Kovacic brings it forward. Free man on the left-hand side is Gvardiol here for Manchester City. Cuts inside, little layoff to Foden, intercepted. Here's Rashford, back to Amrabat. Amrabat spins round. First instance for Amrabat is just to turn backwards every time. And it's now with Onana, gives it out to Martinez, quickly shut down by Bernardo Silva. He's going to have to go back to Onana. Haaland on top of him. Onana left-footed to absolutely nobody. John Stones with a header. Manu tries and brings it down, but it's Kyle Walker picks the pieces up and manages to find John Stones again. Stones a little ball into Kovacic now to Kyle Walker, little 1-2. And lets Kovacic bring this forward for Manchester City. Into the centre circle he goes. Still goalless at Wembley. Welcome, everybody, to Matchday Live on the Toon Review. This is the FA Cup final. And simply, Man City have to win in order for Newcastle to have a little bit of a European celebration. So welcome, everybody. Please do subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. Come and be part of this incredible community as we head towards 30,000 subscribers. Rodri now bang on the centre spot. Lays it off to Phil Foden. Again, Manchester United just sitting deep, letting Man City spray the ball around. But that's a nice play, and Kovacic can bring this forward out to the left-hand side now to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne on the end of the box, clips it across. It's a good cross, and it's headed away. Not out of play, though, but cleared by Manchester United high into the sky. Daniel Graham, thank you for being a member of the Toon Review for 3 months. Celebrating the 3 months being a member, but just want to say thank you guys and Sam for the hard work you do on the channel. It's much appreciated. Thank you very much, Daniel. De Bruyne again. I mean, Martinez did well there, actually, to head that away, but
great ball. Over here.
Yeah, Varane wanted Onana, but Onana knew that ball wasn't going to bounce through to him there, and he had to do something very, very quickly. Gvardiol with the throw-in for City, who at the moment have been in complete possession most of this first 13 minutes of this game. There hasn't really been any Manchester United breakaways, although Garnacho's had one decent shot on goal, but it was straight at the goalkeeper. And Onana, to be fair, hasn't had to make a save. It's just been possession, really, that City have got. I mean, whatever you say. I mean, Martinez and Varane will strengthen that centre, you know, the defence, Billy.
Oh, well, ahead of Casemiro and Evans every day of the week, yeah. I mean, they are. Varane in his day was probably the best centre half in the world, wasn't he, for a while?
Yeah. Oh, that's not great from Onana. Almost gives it to Phil Foden, but again, it just bounces off Foden and goes out for a throw in. But that's not great from Onana, and we've seen that plenty this season. Would you have Onana at Newcastle, Alex?
I probably would, yeah. I think he's fantastic with his feet, and now he's kind of settled into the league and he's not making errors. He's you know, his distribution against us was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, he's good. He's a good keeper. There's a reason why he was in the Champions League final with Inter. Oh, dear. There's a reason why they bought him.
Oh dear,
that was nasty from Martinez. That I think it was the back of Phil Foden.
He knew exactly what he was doing.
Absolutely did. I mean, Manchester City players weren't happy with that. Just seeing it again. Well, maybe I don't think there's a lot of contact there, to be honest.
Just him, is it?
He sort of jumped out the way. I don't think there was definitely not a lot of contact there. Robert Morrison says that Onana is my football manager keeper. Well, I don't think he'd sound for South Shields on my save, to be honest. But never mind. It is De Bruyne to take this free kick for Manchester City. Still goalless coming up to the 15th minute of the game. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on Matchday Live for this FA Cup final. Just to let you know, we will have the Champions League final as well. We will be doing live commentary on the Champions League final. There's a lot more commentaries going to come up next season, guys. We've been discussing whether to start up a new channel, but we will wait and see what the summer brings us. It is De Bruyne to swing in this free kick. Flicked away. And that's going to be picked up by Ake, but he will let that go out for a City throw in. Aussie Mag, thank you for your super chat. He says, back to watching late night kickoffs. Hashtag short-lived. Well, I know. But listen, you get nice weather. Daniel Graham, thank you for gifting a Toon Review membership as well, my friend. That's very, very kind.
170 from 30k, guys.
170 away. 170, guys. Nothing in today's world of bananas and potatoes. And again, it's just a Manchester City. I mean, it hasn't been the greatest game yet, simply because Manchester United are just knocking it around. What will the channel be called, says Tom? The Football Review. Well, it could well be. It could well be. It's something along those lines. Susan's come up with a very good name, which we may go for. It's just that final ball, isn't it? They're just trying to pull Man United defenders out so they can get him behind. But to be fair to Man United, they are staying very disciplined right now.
Dare I say it looks like Manchester United are playing for penalties already.
Wow. Trolls, thank you for gifting a Toon Review membership. Very kind. Thank you very much. Our City start again now with Bernardo Silva down this right-hand side. Running at Dallo. Cuts inside onto his left foot. Opportunity to shoot. Doesn't. There's it off to Foden. Foden then goes to Gvardiol. He's overhit the pass and it runs out for a goal kick.
I think Gvardiol should have been a bit more alert there. I think it wasn't a bad ball at all, that.
Well, I don't think he overhit it, Billy.
No, I don't.
It was
on his heels.
Gvardiol just seemed to stop.
Yeah, on his heels there. He couldn't go forward. It was strange.
Pep Guardiola looking very pensive there on the touchline, as he normally does. But I mean, he'll be expected. I mean, if Man City score earlier, that doesn't mean that Manchester United are going to come out, and try and get an equaliser straight away. But it does open the game up a bit more. 64% possession in the first 15 minutes for Manchester City. And the ball is with John Stones now. And he goes all the way back to goalkeeper Ortega. And they will start a rebuild again. Ortega taking his time. Really taking his time here. There's no press from Manchester United. So Ortega come on, guys. He's still got the ball here and lays it into Kovacic right on the D. And somehow they get out of defense. I mean, Manchester United, that's not good enough really for him. A sort of pressing position when they've got three forwards there and Manchester City just pass it into the D and break out. Unbelievable.
Nobody pressed.
Nah. John Stones has it and lays it off to Ake. Inside to Rodri. Back to Ake. Out wide now to Foden. Foden spins, gives it back to Kovacic. Kovacic lays it again to Foden. Foden this time decides to burst forward. Gvardiol, lovely ball inside for Rodri. He turns, lays it back to Kovacic now. Kovacic around 35 yards out, back to De Bruyne. De Bruyne to Ake. Ake spins it out to Gvardiol. Manchester City just literally one touch pass. They're trying to wear Manchester United down here. And the way Manchester United have lost concentration numerous occasions this season may be the way forward. Daniel Crespin, thank you for being a member for 9 months. I lost my mum 2 weeks ago. Watching your channel makes me smile and not screaming my head off. Love you all. Thank you, Daniel, and condolences to you and your family.
I think that's One Shot Dan, isn't it? One Shot Dan used to have his channel. I don't know if he's still got it or not.
One Shot Dan? Could be. Anyway, De Bruyne. And again, Gvardiol just stuck on his heels there as De Bruyne played the ball forward, looking for Gvardiol to run onto it, and it just didn't happen.
Not been the greatest 20 minutes of football, has it? Let's be honest.
I mean, it's one of those training games, isn't it, where one side's defending, one side's attacking. Alex, what's your thoughts so far?
Well, it's typical final, isn't it? Both teams scared to make a mistake and both playing to their strengths. City with possession and trying to work the opening. Manchester United with a block there. Once it goes past the halfway line, they're not bothered about pressing. It's just about structure and shape.
Yeah,
it's going to take a while. It will be. I think the first goal might come from maybe a bit of an error from one of the teams because They're a little bit scared at the
Oh,
moment.
it could be there, and it almost McTominay managed to get a shot, and John Stones didn't control the ball very well, and Manchester United almost getting in, almost the mistake you were talking about there, Alex. But they managed to get away with it, and City come away again with Bernardo Silva, but he's tracked by 3 Manchester United players. That was a chance, Billy.
It wasn't.
And again, what's Ortega doing? I mean, that's suicidal. Oh, that's nasty from Dalot. That's one of them that we don't like to see. But now Manchester City break away with Haaland. He's hauled down to the floor by Dalot. Free kick to Manchester City. And again, that's one of them where the defender jumps for the ball and he's nudged by the other player and falls on his back. It's not nice to see that.
Made an arch, didn't he? So he'd go over him. It was a deliberate act, I thought.
I mean, luckily Kyle Walker's back up, but probably a bit winded there. But that I don't like seeing that.
The Dalot tackle he got a yellow card for. I think he actually got the ball.
Well, we'll see here. Oh, this is the chance at the other end when Fernandez is looking for a penalty. It's a great tackle, to be fair.
Yeah, Kovacic did well there, didn't he?
So, no, Man City didn't get a yellow card. Dalot did, didn't he? Did Dalot get the yellow card? Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Dalot did, but I'm not sure he should have been. I think he played the ball, but...
Maybe it was the angle that he made the tackle from there. But again, Man City almost committing suicide with those playing out from the back. I mean, sometimes as a goalkeeper, you've just got to get rid of it. You know what I mean? You can't pass out from the back like that every time.
Yeah, I don't think you should be able to do that in football. And the same as rugby. If you're going to pick someone up or challenge them aerially, you can't. You know, there's a controlled fall. You can't just let somebody go arse over tits with their head down. It's dangerous. You don't want any really serious injuries. So if you're both going to go up like that, you can't just force somebody to fall to the ground, sort of almost upside down. It's people need to be careful.
Harry Kane got a lot of stick for that last season, didn't he?
He did it a few times for people, and the referees need to be a lot harder on it because it's endangering your opponent. Even
it's a red card in rugby, isn't it? It's a red card in rugby every day.
Well, the injury you can do to someone by doing that, because, you know, if you're deliberately not going to go for a header and then you just nudge the player that's in the air, he has no control over his fall at all. It's so dangerous. But I just don't think the authorities have picked up on it. I really don't. Anyway, Garnacho now coming down the right-hand side, trying to get past Ake, but Ake just sees him out for a goal kick. And I've just received a message off Susan saying, here's a video if Man City win. So that could be interesting. Obviously a celebratory Newcastle United in Europe if Manchester City win. But at the minute, it's Manchester United that have had the better opportunities to take the lead. And I don't think Pep will be quite happy with this, to be honest.
Well, they didn't have the ball in those situations. It was just risky play from the back.
It caused a bit of a...
You can't really class them as chances.
Well, yeah, it's a bit of a panic, Alex, because if Fernandez had got onto that one, but Man City playing some good stuff down the left-hand side here now, Gvardiol going against Wan-Bissaka. Turns back, lays it up the line to Kovacic. He plays it inside now to Rodri. And he spins it out right-hand side now to Bernardo Silva, who will again have a run at Dalot. Should be a good battle this afternoon between them two. De Bruyne, who hasn't really seen a lot of the ball in this first half, Billy.
No, he hasn't. Not been involved at all, has he? It's been side-to-side stuff from City most of the time, trying to pull United out and Man United out, sorry.
Yeah.
There was a near killer ball from De Bruyne on the left-hand side, sort of 10 minutes ago, where it got intercepted by Varane, but Haaland was waiting to the back post, so there's been a little bit.
It's Gvardiol now on the far side, lays it back to Ake. Once again, Manchester United just knocking on the door, asking questions of the Manchester United discipline to stay in the shape. Kovacic again. McTominay having a little bite at him. Foden to Walker, to cross now to Kovacic again through the middle. Looking for that angle pass. Lays it down the line now to Foden. Foden. He's got wide of him is Bernardo Silva. Once again having a run at Dalot. Cuts in on his left foot into Foden in the box. That's a lovely play from Manchester City. And it's pulled back. And nobody's there to finish the ball off. And that's very unusual for Manchester City because normally somebody is there to knock the ball home. I thought Kovacic might have hit that himself, Billy.
Yeah, he should have done, shouldn't he? Especially with no one at the back post.
Yeah.
That needed a Jeremy Doku or somebody like that to be running in, or even if they ever say Jack Grealish. The Man City haven't got Foden and De Bruyne on the game half as much as they want to. I've got to say.
But that was a real opportunity there. I thought Kovacic might have hit that towards the far corner there, but he didn't. He decided to pull it back, and there was no Manchester City player there to finish the ball off. Foden has it again. And Rodri now in the centre circle. Once again, quarterbacking every Manchester City attack. Kyle Walker. Again, spins, looks for an opportunity to pass it forward, but goes sideways again to Rodri. He floats one left to Guardiola, who is definitely playing more as a left winger than a left back today. De Bruyne now, nice skill on the ball and gets it back to Nathan Ake.
Brilliant.
I mean, they were biting at De Bruyne there, but he managed to hold them off. Great bit of play. Here's Ake to Kyle Walker. Rodri again now. Back to Kyle Walker. I mean, it's sort of one of those sort of practice matches you watch, isn't it? Just defense against attack at the minute. But City haven't got through yet, but here's Phil Foden on the edge of the penalty area. Back to De Bruyne. De Bruyne now turns, gives it back to Kovacic. Kovacic to Rodri. He's got a chance to shoot, but doesn't. Clips it towards Haaland. Varane is there with a header. And Manchester United survive. And Bruno Fernandes, anywhere will do. I think he's tried to get Rashford in here, but again, it's Rashford against Kyle Walker. But this time Ortega's out to clear the ball. Good bit of communication there between Ortega and Kyle Walker. Because I thought Kyle Walker had slowed up, Billy. I thought, is his muscle gone there? And then I realised the goalkeeper was out. Well, that's not a foul, actually. I think that's a little bit harsh. I do agree with Bruno Fernandes on that one.
I don't think he'd get the ball anyway. I think it would have gone to Walker, but yeah, it wasn't a free kick. Referee started to take... He's starting to become a bit of an ass. I mean, I don't have a problem with Bruno Fernandes complaining about that one because that was not a foul. He simply... Foden switched off and Fernandes won the ball and the referee gives a free kick. So, but I don't want Madley to start being whistle happy in an FA Cup final, for God's sake. Alex, your thoughts so far?
Yeah, I mean, I can see why a lot of people say it was boring. I mean, I would like to remind people this is what it used to be like watching Barcelona back in the day until somebody sort of broke through. It was very much, it was kind of like this. A lot of people back in the day didn't like it, and then obviously we appreciate it for what it was now. Of course, there's no Messi in this side for Man City and players of that ilk, but still, it's just waiting for the opening. It's being patient. They've created a couple of decent openings, and it's just they need to do a bit more because we're half an hour in nearly, so time is a ticking.
It is, as they come forward again with a ricochet off Guardiola goes behind for a goal kick again to Manchester United. Still goalless. Almost 28 and a half minutes gone in the game. We're just seeing this run again. And there, Billy, I think you should have
Yeah.
Even if Onana parries the ball, it could go somewhere else there. You know what I mean?
His first touch let him down, didn't he? He had a bit of a heavy first touch, took him too far into the goal.
Yeah. As Onana now launches one forward. Again, only finds a Manchester City head. And that's a loose pass by Rodri. We don't often see that. Amrabat now brings it forward for Manchester United, but as usual goes backwards. Dalot, he goes forwards wide, but that's a lovely ball over Garnacho if he can get there. Guardiola. Oh, Guardiola's made a mistake! And Garnacho has scored for Manchester United! It's an awful error from the defender, Guardiola. I knocked it over the top of Ortega, and Garnacho has the simple tap in, and Manchester United lead the FA Cup final in the 30th minute. Half an hour gone. Man City 0, Man United 1, Billy Bob.
And we're talking about communication between the defenders and the goalkeeper. That was a complete lack of one there. Ortega comes out and Guardiola nods it over him and leaves Garnacho to run it into an empty net. The referee is being spoken to by the Man City players. I don't know what for. Whether they think there's a foul on Guardiola or what, I don't know. But
well, not for me, Billy. I mean, Rodri's pass was terrible. Amrabat knocks it back to Dalot. Then Dalot hits an absolute brilliant ball. Now, is he onside? I think he is. Yeah,
he's way onside.
Clearly onside, yeah. Beautiful ball, but this is when it all goes pear-shaped. I mean, Guardiola actually knocks Garnacho out the way and then heads it over the top of his own goalkeeper.
No foul there.
Absolutely not. If there's any foul, it's Guardiola on Garnacho. What is he thinking about there? Alex, have you seen it?
I have, yeah. I think it was onside. There was no foul in the build-up. It was just bad defending. Poor mistake.
Awful. Oh dear. Oh
the
dear.
first goal's gone the wrong way here. The first goal.
Yeah, he's just onside. Stones keeps him onside by about a foot on that far left.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is not what we wanted to see. Half an hour gone. It's Manchester City 0, Manchester United 1 in the FA Cup final, which means, as it stands, there is no European football for Newcastle next season, but a long way to go yet. And I expect Man City to step up a few gears here and immediately coming forward, but Varane is there to stop Haaland. Ake heads it straight to Bruno Fernandes, who did very well there. Brings it down to McTominay, to Dalot. Dalot back to Bruno Fernandes. Man City are trying to get in there with tackles, but now Stones and Rashford, and Stones this time shows Rashford a fresh pair of heels. And a throw into Manchester United. But this has gone awfully wrong, Billy.
Yeah, Man United, despite going a goal up, haven't gone into the low block and actually playing some decent football now.
Absolutely. Well, I wouldn't be hugging you last yet, mate. I mean, it's still a long way to go. Aussie Mag, thank you very much for another super chat. He says, Man City playing like Salford City. Yeah, they need to wake up here, Manchester City. This is not great. And Manchester United now, that goal will have just given them an extra boost. A boost, which we know what does to teams.
Well, they're not hanging on for penalties now. They've got something to actually literally hang on to.
Absolutely.
Since you've got to get the game in order.
Amrabat back to Onana from the halfway line. Onana goes long again, looking for the run of Dalot, who's the furthest man forward for Manchester United now. Ortega, though, comes off. I still can't believe that goal, quite honestly, Alex. It was horrendous defending.
Yeah, it's exactly what we didn't want. Man City are hyperclinical. You know, they were winless, lossless even in the final, 16, 17 games of the run-in. We need them to turn up today, not make silly mistakes.
I mean, Gvardiol, you don't expect a defender of his caliber to make a mistake like that, to be honest. But he has, and Manchester United have a one-goal lead to hang on to now. And it's up to City to break them down. And it's with Bernardo Silva now on this near side. Again, not much movement in front of him. Kyle Walker now plays it inside to De Bruyne, who's had a very, very quiet game. And De Bruyne knocked off the ball. And now Rashford for Manchester United.
They've got to get De Bruyne and Foden into the game. They've been non-existent so far.
Yeah. Menu holding off De Bruyne, who does well to win it back, but Bruno Fernandes is there to win it back for Manchester United. Wan-Bissaka now out to the right-hand side to Garnacho. A lot of space to run into. McTominay's made a good run into the box. Stones heads away straight to Menu, though, but good defending again, this time by Rodri and Bernardo Silva now for Manchester City. Suddenly the game is starting to open up a little bit, but Silva's ball is absolutely rank, and Varane has picked it up for Manchester United now. And again, in no hurry, just plays it back to Amrabat, who will go back to Onana. I don't think Amrabat's actually played a forward pass in this game, Billy.
No, just sitting in front of the back four, isn't he? Stopping traffic, directing stuff, going backwards. Yeah, well, go backwards or sideways if he's lucky, but he's doing a good job for him, to be fair.
Mm-hmm. And Bruno Fernandes, Garnacho trying to get the better of Guardiola again. This time gives a free kick away, and Manchester City have a free kick. Just over 34 minutes gone, and it is Manchester City 0, Manchester United 1 live here on Matchday Live with the Toon Review. Please do subscribe if you're new to the channel, bottom right-hand corner, as we head towards the big 3-0, 30,000. And that's played through now for De Bruyne, but he seems like...
No pace.
Nah, he seems way off it.
Running in treacle, isn't he, there?
Yep. And that certainly doesn't bode well if De Bruyne is struggling already. Of course, had his injury problems this season, Kevin De Bruyne.
They've got some good bench players, though. The likes of Doku can come on. If Doku is on the bench, I think he is.
Yeah, he is. He is.
He could be a game changer. He was in the league game, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Foden now on the left-hand side for Manchester City. Here's Ake. Ake across to Rodri now. And to the right-hand side, again, Bernardo Silva, who's had nothing out of Dallo so far. Bernardo Silva cuts back into Kyle Walker. Walker across to Rodri again. He spots Gvardiol out on the left-hand side. Met by Wan-Bissaka. Has to come back again to Nathan Ake. Ake to Kovacic. And again, to be fair to Manchester United, staying disciplined. But here comes City. But again, the little one-touch football doesn't work. And Man United managed to clear the ball. Stones controlled it and gets it to Kyle Walker, who is shut down by Marcus Rashford. Has to go back to John Stones. I mean, Manchester United, Alex, they're doing, they are staying disciplined here.
It's what they need to do. They've managed to get a goal, and they will defend this goal with their life and maybe try and they'll only get a handful of opportunities in this entire match. So they just need to be disciplined and attack well. But we don't want that. We want Man City to be able to break through. So I agree with you guys. I would take I can't believe I'm saying it, but I'd take De Bruyne off right now. I feel like they could do with the Doku. They could do with a little bit more pizzazz in midfield, a bit more energy, a bit more directness. But then again, KDB's quite capable of popping up and scoring out of nothing.
First shot on goal. It's a shot from around 20 yards from Bernardo Silva, straight down the throat of Onana, and he just gathers the ball. I mean, I wouldn't let Bernardo Silva have too many opportunities like that. We know what he can do from there. But he didn't really get a hold of that, Billy.
No. On target, bounced for the keeper, but to be fair to Onana, he handled it pretty well. All they was straight at him.
Oh, surely Garnacho's offside there. The linesman's kept his flag down. And Manchester United are in here if he can spot Rashford. Rashford tucks it in. And is Garnacho offside? I think he is.
Yeah, he's not celebrating, is he? Why didn't he flag before that?
I mean, what's the point of continuing play like that when you know you're going to put your flag up? Pointless exercise. I mean, Garnacho had to be about 5 yards offside there. I mean, he's miles off. Why did you just put your bloody flag up, man? When the linesman runs with his flag like that, normally in old school days, that meant onside. And Manchester City have to be careful here because that is what Man United are capable of. Garnacho certainly is capable of causing a little bit of problems on the wing. And, if he judges his run, and Pep Guardiola is not happy at all with the fourth official. I'm not sure what for. I mean, maybe he feels the same as us. Why didn't you just put your bloody flag up and give us a free kick further up the pitch? Just mental. Ake now for City. Plays it out left to Gvardiol. Wan-Bissaka out meaning, but good ball inside. Rodri into the box for Manchester City. Pulls it back to De Bruyne, and he's completely fluffed the shot. And Manchester City, Man United survive again. And here's Bruno Fernandes to Menu now. Out left to Rashford, just inside his own half here. Rashford, right-footed ball. It's a gorgeous ball across to Garnacho, right on his foot. And here come Manchester United. And Fernandes, and Menu makes it 2-0. And Manchester United are spreading their wings here and are answering a lot of critics right now. And they've got a second goal in the FA Cup final. And it's Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2, Billy.
Deserve as well. What they're doing is they're allowing Manchester United's less creative players lots of the ball and not allowing the creative players to get on the ball. And then when they come forward, they are breaking with gusto. Fantastic switch out to Garnacho. Great break from midfield from Mono. It's a good goal, to be fair to him. You can't argue with that. It's a really good goal.
It is a good goal. It was a brilliant ball out from Rashford initially. It was Menu who played it to Rashford. Rashford then with a right foot ball, absolute beauty across to Garnacho. Now Garnacho's head is up here, but this is really good from Bruno Fernandes. Just clips it to Menu. Everybody thought Fernandes was going to shoot. It's a clever move. Menu does really well to stay on side. And it's a great finish past Ortega. He had no chance with that. 2-0 Man United. Alex.
Yeah, it's poor from them again. So for people questioning the whole KDB situation we were talking about 5 minutes ago, it's again the high line, the energy, the cohesion, losing the ball too often, not sort of stopping the counter-attacks. It's all bad from City, and it's decent. It's not fantastic for Manchester United. It's a long switch, and it's 4-on-3. It's poor from Man City. It's slow from Kovacic to get back into position. It's an avoidable goal. It's being.
Well,
If
it's
somebody's
definitely
just said
an
for being
avoidable
too
goal,
cocky. I
but-
mean, you're not wrong. Yeah, it's far too big for their boots. There, they should have respected the 4-on-3 and the potential for the counter attack, and they just didn't.
Brilliant no-look pass from Bruno, though, to set Bruno Fernandes. Set up
I mean,
moment
I hate the
was
bloke,
fantastic.
but that was a lovely piece of play. I mean, if we scored that goal, we'd have been absolutely bouncing with that, to be fair. But again, Bernardo Silva getting no look out. There's Dalot on this left-hand side here for Manchester, on the right.
But
now,
we played,
it's into the box. He's overhit the cross, looking for a tap in for Haaland. It's not going to happen, and it's a Manchester United goal kick.
I said it when we played Man United against a right-footed left-back. You need someone to go on the outside of him. Bernardo Silva comes inside every single time, a bit like Mickey, just a much better version of him. I think they'd be better with a right foot on his side to go on the outside of him.
I mean, De Bruyne looks a million miles off at what he normally does. I mean, this is not going to plan, guys. This is not going to script at all. And Pep is not happy. And rightly so. I mean, Manchester City, they've had that one Bernardo shot from long range, and that's it. I'm not sure that leaving Diaz out was a good idea. That's an awful pass from John Stones. And now Fernandes has got it again. Bruno Fernandes, he will shoot from here. Deflected off John Stones and cleared away. And that'll be a Manchester United throw in. I mean, City are all over the place right now.
They are, yeah. They are very poor. I mean, Stones and Ake, how many times they played at centre half together this year? I don't think they have they? It's been, it's been Guardiola, it's been Akanji, mainly for the last 3 or 4 months, and Diaz as well. So strange that you've gone with these two centre halves, I've got to say.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, City can win the double-double. You know what I mean? It's crazy. They've got a lot to play for here. And especially to their next-door neighbours, they will not want to lose.
They haven't turned up.
Well, they just haven't. They really haven't.
Foden, hardly seen him. De Bruyne, hardly seen him. Silva, the 3 creative players, we hardly seen him. Because we haven't seen them, we haven't seen Haaland, have we, either? So, they're playing with 4 men missing at the minute.
I mean, Manchester City, normally, the way the attack is so powerful and great to watch, and we just haven't seen that. Yes, they've had a lot of possession, they've had a lot of passes in this first half, but nothing to threaten Manchester United at all with. Can they do anything here? Dalot's there again, a poor touch by Rodri, and it's thumped away for Manchester United. They'll be happy. A couple of minutes to half time. If you've just joined us, welcome to Matchday Live on the Toon Review. It is Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2 in the cup final. Not what Newcastle fans want at all. And we are going to have to ask for a very big second half at the moment from the blue side of Manchester. And Kovacic again getting tied up. But now Walker gets there first. Plays it to De Bruyne. De Bruyne tries to cut inside. Does well. Gets rid of Rashford, but then just nothing. And Rashford wins the ball back.
Been piss poor. It's been one of them games for De Bruyne. He gets them sometimes.
And McTominay looking like prime Pele there, and wins a free kick for Manchester United. NH92, thank you for your super chat. Europe gone and now worried about transfer window. Well, Europe's not gone yet. I mean, if anything, this is Manchester City, remember. They are capable of, coming back, let's be honest, but they have to be a lot better than they have been in this first half. So much possession, but no killer instinct. And when have we ever said that about a Manchester City side? Bizarre what is happening at Wembley today. Bizarre.
You've got to credit Ten Hag the way he set his team up. Well, he does it every week, but they are actually on their mettle today. They are stopping the creative players and getting the ball.
Absolutely.
It's good management, to be fair.
Yeah. Zonana launches one again, but this time way too hard for Rashford and out of play. Manchester City urgently getting on with the game. They will want to pull at least a goal back before half-time, but I mean, there's been nothing to indicate that that's going to happen. Gvardiol now down the left-hand side, pulls it inside for Kovacic. Kovacic spins away from Bruno Fernandes, lays it into De Bruyne. De Bruyne tackled, but he's given a free kick. And Kobe Mainoo is going to be, is he going to be booked here for a tackle on De Bruyne? He is indeed.
Slide from behind, to be fair.
Well, I mean, we'll see it again, obviously.
Similar to the Dallo one, wasn't it? Exactly the same corner tackle. It doesn't seem to like them corner tackles. When it's gone through to get the ball.
I don't know. Well, yeah, maybe he's on that angle there. Yeah, I don't think it's a booking though, Billy. I think that's a bit harsh. But then again, these referees. I mean,
he protested, didn't he? He protested.
Yeah, maybe that's what it's for. Yeah. But this is a good position for Manchester City, especially right before half-time. There's 2 minutes of additional time. We're into that first minute now, and this is a big opportunity for Manchester City to get a goal back before half-time, which they really need to get there in order to get the confidence back up here, because it's flat. De Bruyne will take, chips it into the penalty area. It's absolutely shocking, and straight to Onana.
I agree with Alex. I'd get him off at half time, De Bruyne. He's one of them days where nothing he's touches works. Get him off, get Foden in the middle, and get Docker on the left-hand side.
Yep. Into the final minute of additional time. Jabba Dabba Do One, thank you very much for your super chat. I know this was going to happen. Stuff rivals the cartel. It's nothing to do with that. There's no way that Manchester City would just let Manchester United win. There's no way.
They're defending really well, to be fair to them. They really are. It's good defending there.
They've played well, Manchester United. There's no doubt about it. As much as we can't stand them, they've played well today. And I think that's what's really surprised Manchester City, given Man United's form towards the end of the season. And I think City have kind of just thought they'd turn up and win this game, and they find themselves 2-0 down. Guardiola now on the left-hand side as we're coming up to the final few seconds of the first half. But Manchester City just can't get a rhythm going here.
The point's been absolutely awful.
I mean, Bruno Fernandes is very fired up here. The halftime whistle goes at Wembley, and it's not what Newcastle United wanted to see. It's Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2, and it is glum faces for Man City fans, players, and Newcastle United alike. There's only one team turned up today.
And Chelsea.
And Chelsea, yeah.
This will mean Chelsea will get Conference League and we get nothing. So there's two teams they're not going to be happy about this. Well, three when you include City.
I mean, Alex, pretty much that's probably as bad as we're ever going to see Manchester City play.
I mean, it was shocking. If we played like that, I'd be angry. Awful. Absolutely abysmal. There were mistakes and lackadaisical passes, lack of concentration from the front line, the midfield, the defence, the goalkeeper, lack of communication, poor passing, poor decision-making. I mean, I need a longer bit of paper to write a list of nonsense on for them. It's been a woeful first half from Manchester City in a final, which is just shocking. They've won everything there is to ever win. And the one time we need them to win, and this is why you can never count on other people's results. It's a shame. And again, it's Manchester United potentially getting a European place for finishing 8th. But it is what it is. I do agree with what Billy said. I think De Bruyne needs to come off. I appreciate that he's one of the players that can score and create something out of nothing in this game. However, he's been shocking. I feel like they need a bit more pace, physicality. They need to wrestle control back of this game. Somebody like Doku would be important. I'm not sure. Maybe Matthias Nunez coming on might be reasonable as an option, but they need to change it again. Kovacic can be fantastic, but really slow to recover for that second goal. Yeah, definitely needs to change it. I mean, Man City are more than capable of winning this game. I still believe that, but they're really going to have to change it up and maybe get an early goal in the second half.
I mean, is it a case, Billy, of Manchester City turning up and maybe disrespecting Manchester United a little bit? Because that's how it looks to me, as if they just thought to turn up and win.
I don't think so. I think it's the game plan of Manchester United is allowing their less creative players to have the ball and not allowing the creative players to get anywhere near it. And it's worked a treat for them. We haven't seen Foden, we haven't seen Silva, we haven't seen De Bruyne. You know, they've kept them out of the game fantastically well with Amrabat and Mainu and McTominay doing a good job in the middle of the park. And then counter-attacking with great gusto and two good goals, to be fair. I mean, one was a complete rip from the goalkeeper and Vardiol, but the second goal was a good goal. They're playing the game. It's a perfect game plan for them. That's how so it's their strength. They're not a great side, but they play on the counter and they're good at it.
I mean, there's a few comments in saying that City aren't bothered. City are bothered. I mean, it's a chance to win the double again. This is history. That, you know, if they win the double again, they've won the double-double. You know, that doesn't happen a lot in football. So please don't say that City aren't bothered, because they are bothered. They're just not playing well. I mean, this was always going to happen. If Manchester United turned up, City didn't, then they were going to... There's some fans going to think, oh, it's deliberate, you know what I mean? They're looking after each other kind of thing. It's nothing to do with that at all this time around. Man City just haven't played very well. And I expect a very, very different City in the second half, Alex.
Well, yeah, hairdryer at half time, because you can't be any worse than that. That wasn't just a poor first half. It was absolutely shocking, because you know, when have Man United done that this season? And again, it was simple. It was 3 or 4 counterattacks. That was all it was. 3 or 4 counterattacks. Really poor communication and decision making from the back line. A lot of people in the chat have mentioned Ake. I agree. I don't think Ake's been fantastic with the back line very high. If you're going to play that high up, it has to be straight as an arrow. You have to be bang on if you're going to play a line that high. And it hasn't been. Stones got caught again. It was only a tiny bit off, but it is what it is. You're going to get caught. And Man United have been clinical. A couple of nice little one-touch bits of football. Fernandes linking play well. Yeah, City need to wrestle control of this game. They need to shore up the defensive line as well. I would take Ake off. I'm not sure. Have they got Diaz or anybody like that?
Diaz is on the bench. Yeah, Diaz
I
is
would,
on the bench.
Again, I would completely change this. I would bring Diaz or Akanji on and Doku, potentially even Nunez, although maybe not. You could probably leave Kovacic next to Rodri, but I would make at least 2 changes at half time and bring Doku on to play somewhere for a bit of energy. It doesn't really matter where, just somewhere. And I agree with Billy as well. I don't think Silva's working in his current position. Maybe get him a bit more central, touches of the ball, because he's not able to go past his man. So maybe move Silva and Foden into slightly more central roles. Get Doku out wide somewhere and bring Ake off and shore it up with either a what's his face, Kanji or Diaz. I think that's probably what I would do, but I'm not Pep Guardiola, so.
I'd be tempted to get Stones in the middle of the park. I think he's
he's played there a few times, hasn't he, this season for City?
Yeah, maybe get Kovacic off and move Stones forward.
Yeah.
Prince Varuz, thank you for your super chat. I'm here for Stato's tears.
I take it as a Manchester United supporter.
Well, I mean, thank you for donating to a Newcastle United channel.
All right, we still finished above you and beat you twice out of 3 games. So
yeah,
don't worry about it.
Henry says United looked so physically not letting City play how they want to. It's frustrating, but it's working for them. The Pete says, well, we only have ourselves to blame. Yes, that's why it's not very good to rely on other teams, because you just never know what might happen. And if we don't get European football this season, we've only got ourselves to blame, because we had a chance with 3 games to go. Gillian says, I expected more from an FA Cup final. City were crap. Marky says it's against United. Of course they're bothered. Of course they are. It's nonsense for people to say it's a conspiracy. My God. I mean, one thing I will never say about a manager like Pep Guardiola and say that he's not bothered to win a cup final. Give over. Eric, thank you for your super chat. In my opinion, or laughing my arse off, whichever it may be, maybe we shouldn't have dropped like 20 points in November to December. Can't believe City are okay being walked over by a rival in a final. They're not okay with it. The Devious Orange, thank you for your super chat. This is why Foden can't play left wing. Loses everything he's good at.
I tend to agree with that, and I think Southgate's got that spot mark for him in the Euros. But
yeah, that's what I'm worried about as well. Absolutely. Laura says completely off the subject, but does anyone else think Wayne Rooney has too much makeup on?
Of course, he's the new Plymouth manager, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
I don't know how he's managed to get that job.
Well, look, good luck to him. I mean, I've got nothing against Wayne Rooney, to be honest. Good luck to him. Another super chat from Keith Truscott. Best team, best manager in the world. Time to prove it.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. I mean, this is where they're going to, if they are the big boys that they say they are, this is a massive test for them, Billy.
Yeah, 100%. Pep's got to change things. It hasn't worked first half. He's got to get some more, in my opinion, more pace on the pitch. Whether that be Doku, whether that be Alvarez, maybe both of them. But there's got to be changes made. Absolutely, 100%. De Bruyne's got to have one of them days where he's got his boots on the wrong feet. Happens very rarely, but sometimes it happens in the big games. To be fair to Man United, they've kind of nullified him so well. Pep's got to do a big job at half time.
Yeah. Alan says the last team to throw away a 2-goal lead in an FA Cup final was managed by Steve Bruce. Foxy, Man United deserve Europe if they carry on with this performance, doing exactly what they have to. Fingers crossed City find a way. Get Alvarez on now. Well, to be honest, I mean, look, they need something, but I think we can guarantee that Pep Guardiola will be reading the riot act in that dressing room at halftime. There is no doubt in my mind about that. And whether he makes changes or not, I know he's not frightened to make changes at halftime as Pep, so we may see a couple of changes because something's not clicking for Manchester City, and it needs to start clicking quickly because they need to go out there and get a quick goal, Billy.
Yeah, 100%. Manchester United have got something to hang on to. When they had the 1 goal, they were satisfied. They've got 2 now, even more to hang on to. Martinez and Varane have made them so much stronger defensively as well. Don't think that can be understated. Instead of having Maguire and Evans and Casemiro at the back there, they look more kind of resolute in defence, don't they?
Peter says, if the score stays the same, do our transfer plans get affected? What do you reckon, Alex?
Possibly. Well, we're going to have fewer games next season, aren't we, as a result of that? So in terms of what the players are going to want as well, bringing players in, having that promise of A, we get to play a bit of European football, and B, there are more fixtures to share around the appearances for. It does, and a tiny bit of obviously financial benefit as well. Yeah, it can make a difference. I'm more concerned about the difference it's going to make to our outgoings, in all honesty, with players like Bruno and Isak. That terrifies me. So with no European football, you would imagine that we might be able to sort something out with Bruno and Isak with the Conference League, that we might be able to convince them to stay. But with nothing, it's going to be tricky with Bruno specifically.
Derek Sharp says Torsen has agreed to sign but can't sign until June the 1st. Who's told you that? Who's told you that he's agreed to sign? Because we know that there's talks taking place, but Newcastle United haven't said that he's agreed to sign. Neither is the player. So where have you heard that? Barney Boy 1000, thank you for your super chat. Let's be honest, Man United shouldn't even be in the final. Should have been Coventry. Well, yeah, but we can't. That's not going to change now, is it? It's the way it is. Ryan says, in reality, we're always clutching at straws with Man City winning. We failed this season without Europe and no trophies. Pressure is on for me now.
I agree.
Wayne says, absolute no threat from City. Onana had 1 save to do, and that was at 36 minutes and was a back pass from a City player. Absolute terrible play from City. Foxy says, City only get back into this game with Alvarez, gets vital goals at vital times. The comments are not ridiculous because our manager isn't good enough, ruining last season for us.
Well, he did pull it back towards the end of the season. Let's not forget that. At one point, we were 11th and ended up finishing 7th. So,
I like how these kind of comments are only turning up because Manchester United are winning. There were no comments of this in the last week.
I've seen some before.
People
are blaming Eddie Howe for Manchester United winning the cup final. I mean, Jesus wept.
It's like people who don't like Eddie Howe are waiting for certain moments to happen so they can jump on and criticise. If you were more critical and logical throughout the entire process, then we would be more willing to entertain and have a conversation about it. But it's the fact that people wait for something like this to happen to then criticise. It's reactionary and it's silly. It's just...
apparently Dallo wasn't booked in the first half, so I've took the yellow card off because it's given Ollie OCD.
He flagged it at someone. He pointed it at someone after that tackle at Dallo.
Yeah, but apparently, according to stats, he hasn't. Interesting. Peter says Haaland has been shite. Rather have Alvarez on and Doku want to help us. Well, to be honest, Haaland's been non-existent. I don't think he's had certainly not more than 3 touches in that first half. Manchester City giving the ball away too easy. That is not Manchester City. Well, let's hopefully that will change in the second half. Toon Lad says wrong. They're not fussed. Give over, will you? Not fussed about. Do you think honestly, if we went against Sunderland and the situation was the same, that we would let Sunderland win the game? Give over, will you? My God. City look slow up top and nearly look as bad as us at the back. Some comical errors and looking not to be more than 2-0 down. Pep wants United to win. If Ten Hag stays, easy points versus them next year. I mean, come on. Devious Orange, thank you for another super chat. Not being in Europe changes nothing. It is a step in the process.
It changes
I think it changes.
Bruno and Isaac and people like that, and maybe even Gordon to a lesser extent.
Yeah.
They may want European football next season.
Right, and Max says, we're missing you on Spotify. I am going to be bringing the Spotify podcast back. We've had a lot of people actually wanting them to come back, so we will be on Spotify and iTunes very, very soon again. I'm sad that even though we got 7th, Man United still get one over us. Yeah, I mean, at the minute they are, but let's face it, there's another 45 minutes to go yet. It's not all, let's not get too upset straight away. Keith Truscott, another super chat. Thank you very much. Don't think we will lose any big players if no Europe member. They have committed to the grand plan. Next season is a tester for us. If no Europe, then we're in trouble. Keith, I'd be happy if Bruno's, Bruno's release clause passes nicely into the wind and there's nothing comes. Then I'll be a little more confident.
Strange how Arsenal want to pay 70 million for him when he's got £100 million release clause. We don't want to sell him for that, so I don't know where Arsenal getting it from. I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, the players are back out for the second half. Doku is on for Manchester City. I'm not sure who's come off.
Well, the point's still there.
Yeah, but that is definitely Doku. I think he's took forward. No, Kovacic is off, and Akanji is on for Ake as well. So 2 changes for Manchester City. So he's gone,
isn't it?
He's definitely gone more attacking, hasn't he? I mean, he's took off Kovacic for Doku, yeah.
Doku is on, yeah?
Doku's on for Kovacic,
yeah. Fantastic. So that is basically what we said then. We said maybe Matheus Nunes, but probably the best option would be get Akanji off for someone for a centre-half and bring Doku on, so...
Yeah. And Manchester United get the second half underway. So let's just give it to Doku and see what he can do. Because, Manchester City a little too defensive maybe in that first half. So he's took a defensive midfielder off and put on Jeremy Doku. So that says to me much more attacking Manchester City in this second half.
Well, this may mean Stones moving forward. We'll have to wait and see what the shape's going to be.
Well, Stones just jogged into the middle of the park there, look.
Yeah, I think he's gone. I think he's gone 3 at the back. Yeah, that's the way it looks at the minute. Yeah, he's definitely gone 3 at the back, and Stone's moving in. It's more like a 3-5 or 3, whatever you want to call this for Man City. But I think it's just let's get the goals and win this cup final. But not a good ball that by Akanji. But he's got it back now, and we'll go back to Ortega. Guys, please keep subscribing if you are new to the channel. Bottom right-hand corner. Come and be part of this fantastic community right here on the Toon Review YouTube channel. As Dallo intercepts the ball and bursts forward again for Manchester United, and he's almost gone past Kyle Walker. In fact, he has gone past Walker. Cuts back inside this time. Walker, though, does well to stick with him. Comes loose to Menu, to Amrabat. He sprays it out wide for Varane. Inside to Dallo. And now, Manchester United will just try and hold the ball up as much as they can here because they're in... the 2-0 up. That's not a great ball from Menu, though. And City get the ball back now with Ortega. And now Guardiola, who's obviously gone into defence. Rather than on that left-hand side, of course. This is Rodri. And Rodri's... he's gone... I mean, that's optimistic. He's trying to beat Onana from sort of way inside his own half. And I don't think that'll impress... Oh, dear me. Look at that look from Guardiola to Rodri. As if to say, what are you doing? Wow. Yes, I wouldn't look at the manager for a few minutes if I were you, matey. Right, so who's the centre-backs then for City? They've got Akanji there. They've got Gvardiol. Who's the other one?
I think Walker's...
Carl Walker is a right-sided.
Kyle Walker,
half in the back 3.
Martinez, long ball forward, looking for Rashford. Rashford's got onto it and couldn't take it down. And if he controlled that, he was in.
City have got to go a bit gung-ho because, and that will leave gaps at the back, I think, but...
Well, they've got no choice.
Don't take advantage of it.
Kyle Walker now for City. De Bruyne had made the run. Walker doesn't use him. Goes back to Akanji. Akanji brings it forward over the halfway line. Lays it out to Gvardiol. And here's Doku for the first time in this second half. Cuts inside to Foden now. Foden across to Kyle Walker. City go to the other side now with Rodri. Silva. Again, met by Dallo, who has played really well today, actually, Dallo.
I think he's their player of the season, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's a good player. But again, City losing the ball. And McTominay strides away for Manchester United. But 5 City players surrounding him. But Manchester United, to be fair, played out of danger. And it's back with Onana. Quickly shut down by Haaland. But a good ball out by Onana to Van Bissaka. Garnacho, Amrabat. A lot of players around him, and he manages to get away with that. Varane now, De Bruyne closing him down, but Varane manages to get it back to Amrabat. And of course, Amrabat goes back to his goalkeeper. Where else would he possibly go?
He passed one about 5 centimetres forward about 10 minutes ago, or 5 minutes ago, I should say.
Doku fighting for the ball on this near side, but Bruno Fernandes picks it up for Manchester United. Inside to Menu. I mean, give Kobe Manu his credit. He's got some confidence, this kid. And he's played a lovely ball through to Bruno Fernandes, who's done really well. And Dallo, he could have played Rashford in there. But a good interception. And Manchester City, I mean, this is terrible, this. I mean, they're just not at it. They're just not at it. Oh, dear. Well, at the moment, all I can say is if you're a Newcastle fan, your passport's going away again for another season. I mean, that was 3-0 there if he played that through. It was a good interception, but by God, it was close. But I think, as much as I hate to say this, I think Bruno Fernandes has been really good for Manchester United today.
It's been a good plan from Ten Hag. You've got to give him credit. You really have.
Absolutely.
And this is the first time I think I've seen Manchester United leading a game and actually deserve it this season. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Terrible free kick, though, from Bruno Fernandes. I'm not sure what he was trying to do there.
Doku, you got the pace.
Wan Bissaka's got the ball and is springing forward. Plays it out wide. Garnacho will do well to keep that in, though. Terrible ball, that by Wan Bissaka. And Garnacho rightly is furious. And now Doku going against Amrabat again. And Amrabat sticking with him, but Doku gets it better. Still Amrabat hanging on to him, but Doku's on the ball now. Nothing in front of him. Has to play it all the way back to Akanji, who brings it over the halfway line for Manchester City. Foden lays it off to Rodri now. Rodri, 40 yards out, plays it to the left-hand side to Doku again.
Take him on.
To Gvardiol. Just outside the penalty area now, Manchester City. But again, trying to play it round Manchester United and not having any joy so far. Bernardo Silva on the far side now. Whips a ball in towards Haaland. It's headed away by Bruno Fernandes, of all people. Sorry, it wasn't. It was Martinez. How is Martinez getting above? It's crazy, isn't it?
It's the timing of the jump, wasn't it?
Yeah. Here is Gvardiol across to John Stones now. Stones has Akanji in support, but again, Manchester United stay disciplined with their formation at the moment. De Bruyne now, he's fallen over. He's just not, it's not his day at all. And that is going to go out for a Manchester United goal kick. I mean,
all 11 behind the ball, isn't it? It's just hard to get through him, isn't it?
Yep. But it's not happening for De Bruyne. He's just, it's sort of coming to De Bruyne, and the Man City attack is breaking down. It's fair to say there's a few worried faces in that Manchester City end.
I think the writing's on the wall.
Nice bit of play from Manchester United to break out of defence again. I mean, where has this Manchester United side been all season? Here's Garnacho now into the box. Garnacho, he's got an opportunity to pull it back. He does pull it back for McTominay. He wanted a penalty, but it's come to Bruno Fernandes. It's still a chance for Manchester United. Ball bouncing around. And somehow City get it away and are quite lucky in that respect that they didn't concede again. Here's Doku.
Just run and go. You've got the pace.
I mean, he's got a free kick there. I think he was just he kicked the ball straight into Wan-Bissaka. I'm not sure if VAR even going to have a look at that.
I thought there was a hand in the box there. I'll be honest.
I mean, I don't think that's a penalty. Rodri just outstrength. He was too strong for McTominay there. However, play's gone on. No penalty. And Manchester City come forward again with Kyle Walker now. Inside to Rodri. Haaland. Rodri. There's just nothing going on. Out to Doku. Doku now. Taking on Wan-Bissaka. Cuts inside again. Lays it back to Phil Foden. Foden. Poor pass by him. Intercepted. Comes back to Guardiola now. Guardiola goes back to Doku again. Doku into the penalty area. Plays it across. Nice ball. Foden couldn't take it in his stride. Ooh. And Onana pounces on the ball. Alex, what's your thoughts early in this second half?
Still not great for Manchester City. Erratic, nervous. Link-up play's not there. Strange in defence as well. They're letting Man United kind of have a good go at them. It's just poor. Really poor day at the office for City at the moment.
Yep. Long ball high into the air, which is met by John Stones. Son has come out at Wembley again. Flicked on now to De Bruyne. Heads it down to Phil Foden. Foden comes forward to Doku now. Doku going against Wan-Bissaka. Doku plays it across again. Haaland off the crossbar! And the first real look for Haaland in the game. And a left foot shot. Cannons off the crossbar and bounces away. And Manchester City almost back in the game there. And they come forward again now with Rodri towards the box. Plays it to John Stones. Stones has Silva outside of him. Man City knocking on the door. Silva gives it back to John Stones. Inside to Foden. Foden will go left again to Doku, who has definitely made a difference to this City side in the second half. Running against Wan-Bissaka, takes him on, and it's into the side netting, and it's a corner to Manchester City. Billy.
I thought that was a goal kick, personally, but yeah, first time in the game we've actually seen Man City break through. Ball came back for Haaland, kept it down pretty well, actually, but it racketed against the crossbar. Just an inch later, it was in.
Yeah. So we have a corner for Manchester City. 10 minutes gone in the second half. De Bruyne's corner. Whipped in. Onana's punched it. And Amrabat clears only as far as Kyle Walker. Walker now. Plays it to Foden. Foden to Rodri. Rodri back inside now to Guardiola. To Bernardo Silva. Silva out wide now to De Bruyne. De Bruyne whips it in. It's too far for everybody and out for a goal kick.
Had an absolute mare, De Bruyne, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Absolute mare.
Not great from Kevin De Bruyne. Alex, big chance for Haaland?
Yeah, it was a fantastic shot, wasn't it? As Billy said, it was underside of the crossbar. Real shame. Well worked. But it's early doors. We're not even an hour gone. So if City can keep this kind of pace, there's definitely a shot. But they do need to score soon.
56 minutes gone. Please do keep subscribing if you're new to the Toon Review. Bottom right-hand corner. This is Matchday Live FA Cup Final Special.
De Bruyne's off and Alvarez is on.
Yes. That happened very quickly there. I mean, that really did happen quickly. It's as if the manager just thought, right, I've had enough of this. And that's another option up front now. Alvarez, who can make a big difference. Here's Kyle Walker now on the far side for Manchester City. Back to Akanji on the halfway line. He brings it forward. Looking for options. Only has Kyle Walker, but he's played a lovely ball through. And now a chance for City, but now it's a goal kick again. Come on. Alvarez wants a corner kick, but he knows fine well it bounced off him. I could see that. And De Bruyne will be so disappointed with his performance today. He just hasn't really had a very good season, Kevin De Bruyne, has he? I mean, he's had a lot of injury problems.
Apart from against
us, though, yeah.
Yeah, well, isn't that just bloody typical? Somebody could have the leg amputated and then come on with a peg leg and play one game and score against us. It's just typical.
This is what I want Eddie Howe to do, to be fair. It was, he gave De Bruyne 10 or 15 minutes to try and implement the halftime plan. Yeah. It wasn't working, so he hooked him straight off. Yeah. And that's what I do wish we'd kind of make substitutions based on that as well.
Oh, come on, Rodri. You've got to take a chance there, mate. Rodri at the far post, crawls back in. Manchester City definitely have up the gear here. Foden's gone down.
Get out of it.
Being very optimistic there.
Come on, Phil. That's not good enough, that.
Oh, that's an awful pass. And Garnacho way through the 2 centre-backs, but Guardiola did very well to cover him there. But that was real speed from Garnacho. And they still have that threat, Manchester United. Rodri again bringing the ball forward for Manchester City. It's one-way traffic at the minute, but we expected this. Doku now cuts in on his right foot, fires a shot. Wan-Bissaka stays strong. Amrabat looked like Linford Bloody Christie there, getting to that ball. Clears it only as far as Akanji, though. It literally is now all hands to the pump for Manchester United, but they've got their 2 goals. And at the moment, that's what's counting. Rodri for City. Stones. Turns.
I think if City get one, I think it will they will get 2 and then 3.
Yeah.
I agree. City just need 1 goal and they'll collapse. Man United will, but they need to get that goal.
Doku back to Guardiola now. All the way across to Kyle Walker. He's going to thump it, and a brilliant save from Onana.
Oh, that is a brilliant save. That's an outstanding save.
What a hit by Kyle Walker. Kept it down. And Onana springing himself to the left-hand side to tip it for a corner. Brilliant save, Billy.
Absolutely outstanding save, that. It was rocketing in, that was. Reflexes, powered it around the corner, around the post. Brilliant save.
Yeah. Bernardo Silva. And now to Alvarez, just outside the penalty area. To Doku, who has really been a bright spark for Manchester City here. Walker to Guardiola now. Back to Kyle Walker. He has Bernardo Silva on this far side now, running at his compatriot Bruno Fernandes into the box. Played back, whipped across again. Headed away by Wan-Bissaka, only as far as Rodri on the edge of the penalty area. Rodri floats another cross back in, looking for Haaland, and it's headed away by Varane for a corner. And this is the Alamo now, which we expected to come from Manchester City.
But brilliant header from Varane, because I don't think Onana was getting there then. I think that would have been a tap-in for Haaland.
Absolutely. He is Alvarez, and he's blasted it over the bar.
Ooh, chances starting to come now more frequently.
I'll tell you what. They are slowly sort of grinding Manchester United down. But you have to say, I mean, we haven't seen the save yet from Kyle Walker, but Alvarez really should have done better from there. And here is that save, Billy.
This is an unbelievable save, this.
Oh. I mean, it was swerving away from him as well, to be fair to the goalkeeper.
I don't think he saw it so late either. And it's got a deflection off Mainu as well. That's an outstanding save. One-handed as well, to have the strength to parry it.
Absolutely.
Brilliant save. Brilliant bit of goalkeeping, that.
Anyway, he's gone along, obviously, with the goal kick. And Manchester United win a throw-in just inside the City half. And Dallo will take it. Oh, dear. I mean, it's even nerve-wracking for Newcastle United fans, and we're not even playing. It's bizarre how things wind up in a season. It's crazy. It is. And Ten Hag now having a discussion with Steve McLaren.
Well, I hope he gets involved in it, because it's going to go tits up if he gets involved. Hat's going back on.
Well, I don't know, Billy, because many people say he's a better coach. And, when he's coached before, he's not the main man. People say he's really good. Anyway, here comes City again. Rodri trying to go long, blocked by Bruno Fernandes. They wanted a handball. They're not getting it. And Fernandes now has a bit of space here. Clips it out to the left. McTominay, a lot of space for him. McTominay on his right foot, it's blocked. And Manchester City trying to play it out from the back. Bernardo Silva, the last man back here, and he's going to have to go back to the goalkeeper, Ortega. He belts it out to Guardiola now on this left-hand side. And we just need to see that pace and that sort of attacking prowess kept up by Manchester City, Alex, not really drop off the pace.
Well, no, they can't solidly attack for half an hour solid, but they do need to. They just need a goal. They need a goal at the moment, regardless of how it comes. But they need 1 goal to get back in this game and start pushing. because that will bring their confidence up. At the moment, they might be in that mindset, or they're trying not to be in that mindset of it's not our day, it's not going to go in. One goal changes that. It changes their mentality. So they need one very soon.
Oh, shit, that is.
Doku tries to play it forward to Foden, but it's overhit, and a goal kick for Manchester United. Oh, dear. And Pep urging his players on. We're in the 63rd minute. Well, over 63 minutes now. Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2 is the score. If you've just joined us, Rangers have scored in the cup final in Scotland. Zanana sends it long again. McTominay chests it down, but Rodri is too quick onto that. And Akanji now for Manchester City. Vardiol back to Rodri now. I mean, you've got to remember, I mean, Manchester United, this is going to, this is going to tire them out. The chasing the ball around, Manchester City attack, and we know that they can wear teams down. And now a chance for Alvarez! Oh, he's put it wide!
You daft Argentinian donut.
How on earth has Alvarez missed that?
Got to score there.
I mean, it was a lovely move. He was played in brilliantly by Foden, and he should be scoring that on his left foot. Goes for the far side, and he's put it wide of the post. I mean, he's dragged it, Billy. He hasn't even got a decent connection on that, really.
It's 2 yards wide. He should be scoring.
Wow.
I mean, we can't see the full picture, but is there anyone who could have squared it to tap in? Possibly.
I'm not sure. Well, for me, he's got to score there. He's really got to score.
Signs are starting to break Manchester United down now, which is encouraging.
Yeah. Back with Ortega again in the Manchester City goal. He sends it long. Haaland is battling with Martinez, and
foul. That's got to be a foul.
Referee says no.
He's pulling.
Oh dear. Stone's completely missing his header now. Rashford takes it down, lays it off for Dalot. Dalot running against Kyle Walker. Dalot, brilliant bit of skill to get rid of Kyle Walker. And a shot comes in and flashed by the near post. And again, lovely play from the left back there. Bamboozled Kyle Walker. And then the shot comes in, just dragged it a little bit. But this isn't what we expected to see at 65 minutes in the football match. Akanji brings it forward for Manchester City again as they search to get a goal back. And then once they get one, it will literally be the Alamo, because they will force Manchester United back and keep them back and keep going. Geraint Thomas, thank you for your super chat. Stuck in my head in the oven. Problem is, it's electric. Dear God. Gvardiol now. John Stones. He's... Oh, give our.
I mean, why?
I mean, Pep's applauding the effort, but my God, I mean, that would have been... That would have been done in the... Johnny Evans is warming up. Well, there's hope for us then.
And Hoyland. Well, if it's Evans for Varane, because Varane hasn't played a full game for so long, that could be a good way in for City, couldn't it?
It could, but there's 23 minutes to go, and time is running down. Foden, literally too many red shirts around him. Foden again. That's better to Doku. Doku trying to spin Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka wins the ball.
Oh, good tackle that.
He's Amrabat,
isn't he?
Yeah. Amrabat back to Varane, who goes back to Onana, who was closed down, but not really sort of hunted down by Haaland there. Alex, your thoughts?
Disappointment at the moment. There's not really a lot that's changed. It's the same old, same old. Billy was right. A few of City's attacks in the last 10 minutes have gotten through a little bit further. They should have scored at least a goal in this game. It's just not happened. It's not happened at all. what are we now? 67 and a half minutes you guys are in.
Yeah.
So again,
well, Garnacho's nearly scored a third. Ortega's managed to push it round the post. I think Garnacho might have gone across him there, Billy, maybe.
It was poor defending from Guardiola to show him the outside there, wasn't it? Really poor.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm sure everybody feels the same way. It's God knows how many teams in the last decade get some kind of European football for finishing in seventh, and you know, we had the chance to have an additional European place this season as well with the coefficient. We messed that up as a nation, and it just feels typical us, doesn't it? Hard to stomach, it really is.
Bernardo Silva's just took Johnny Evans out as Johnny Evans is warming up. He's gone and pulled him back to the floor, but I don't think there was any malice in that at all, to be honest. I think Johnny Evans kind of made the most of that, to be fair.
Yeah, he did. And he's limping now. And
yeah, give our man.
I would have thought Bernardo Silva would want Evans to come on.
Yeah. Ortega plays it out wide again. Now Kyle Walker. City try and build again, but they are running out of time. Played forward again. Haaland on his chest. Amrabat comes in, but just bounces off Haaland and falls to his floor on his face. Bernardo Silva now back to Akanji. Akanji in a lot of space to bring it forward now for Manchester City. Can they just get that one goal to start to unnerve Manchester United? Doku. He hasn't really had much out of Wan-Bissaka, to be fair. He's had to keep going back like that, but here's Foden. Little touch onto Rodri. Rodri looking for the return. Foden goes down. There's nothing in that at all. And Onana will collect the ball.
Don't think I've seen Phil Foden play so bad.
I mean, he's getting desperate now, isn't he? He's throwing himself to the floor, looking for things that just aren't there. Well, it's looking rather glum in the blue end of Manchester. Long ball high into the air, which is brought down. Now John Stones for Manchester City to Foden. Foden's got options here. Sees the run of Doku over the top, but Wan-Bissaka is there and takes it down really well, actually. Good bit of play of that from Wan-Bissaka. He's defended well today, Billy.
Well, that's his strength, isn't it? Defensively, he's fantastic. He's probably the best defensive right back in the country, but he doesn't offer much going forward, does he? But he's got that spider legs, his long legs, and he just reaches round and gets tackles in left, right, and centre. He's a really good defender.
I mean, Rashford's had nothing out of Kyle Walker in this game, to be fair. Walker's defended Rashford really well. But the sting's just gone out of it again, hasn't it? You know, City, they ramped up a little bit and just gone a little bit quiet again as Alvarez now darts forward. Doku again on this left-hand side in acres of space, running at Wan-Bissaka, heading towards goal. Doku, and it comes across and no finish again for Manchester City. And it's a corner.
It's not their day, is it?
No.
Things aren't falling for them.
You know, and now Bruno Fernandes is down with cramp. No, it's Martinez, sorry. Get him off. Johnny Evans on. Chelsea, thank you for your super chat. How hard is it going to be to listen to Man United that they were the ones to end Rodri's unbeaten game run? Yeah. Well, listen, they'll be gloating in every way possible. They'll be gloating across the other half of the city. They'll be gloating to us. Oh, it's going to be painful, man.
I think we need to stay off social media for a few days.
Yeah. I mean, we're seeing that first goal again. I still can't believe that happened.
I don't know why why the keeper's actually coming out. I don't know why. He can see that Guardiola's going to get there.
Oh dear! I mean, that second goal, that's a sublime touch by Bruno Fernandes, and credit to the kid Manu as well for keeping himself on side as well.
He's a good player. He's a really, really good player. No doubt about that.
Well, they are making the changes. Lion Lockhart, thank you for your super chat. This is 116 charges on how crap they've been. Martinez is the man to go off, and he's having a little fight with Doku there. And Kyle Walker. And a little bit of nasties going on here because obviously Martinez has taken as much time as possible to go off the pitch. And yeah, it's all getting a bit handbags there.
Well, he's time wasting, isn't he?
Of course he's time wasting. Martinez is trying to obviously brew up a bit of trouble and get somebody booked or sent off. I mean, Walker's point is that Martinez has obviously, took the long way around to get off the pitch, which he did, to be fair. The referee was telling him to go off one way and he went off the other. But it is Johnny Evans replacing Martinez. And I would assume this is Rashford coming off. It is indeed. Rashford leaves the field. I think he's been okay today, Marcus Rashford. I've criticised him a lot this season, but I think he's been a handful for that United back line today. And, credit to him. As much as I hate saying it, but we've got to be honest, guys, haven't we? We have to be honest on it. That's what we're known for. We'll give an honest opinion as Rasmus Højlund comes on now for Marcus Rashford. Alex?
Yeah, Fernandes will come to the right-hand side, Højlund through the middle, Garnacho on the left.
Well, I mean, he'll provide him a bit of energy. He'll work hard. He's physical.
Anyway, Man City have a corner. We've got around just over 16 minutes of normal time left. Man United are still 2-0 up here at Wembley. In comes the corner. And I think it was Dalot got his head to it. And that's going to be another corner to Manchester City from the other side this time. Dallow's been their man of the match for me. He's had a hell of a game.
Yeah, he's been their player of the season. And rightly so. I mean, he's played that position, remember? He's not a left back, he's a right back.
Yep. Keith Truscott, thank you for a super chat. The one time they need to be on their game, fucking typical Toon look. I mean, it is. It just is. In comes the corner again. Haaland tried to get there. He's wrestled to the floor. Man City are convinced there should be a penalty there. VAR will certainly have a look at it, but I mean, Man City were convinced that it should have been a penalty. Haaland shakes his head. Seeing it again. Varane misses the ball. It's Menu. How is that not a penalty?
He's just jumped to the ground. That's a penalty kick.
I mean, if Dummett's on Ashley Young is a penalty, that has to be a penalty kick.
That has to be a penalty, and the referee's looking right at it as well. Disgusting referee and VAR aren't overturning it. Of course they aren't.
Wow, that was a penalty. How can that not be given as a penalty?
Unbelievable.
Actually astounding. Alvarez now for Man City. Cuts it back in for Doku. Doku being forced backwards, though. Can only go back to Akanji. Inside now to John Stones.
Apparently Michael Oliver's on VAR as well.
Well, I don't know how they haven't given that as a penalty. I really don't. I mean, he's literally thrown him to the floor. Astonishing. Absolutely astonishing. I'm very surprised to put Michael Oliver on VAR, given that Newcastle's interest in this game. Very strange. Anyway, here's Alvarez to Doku. Man City need a goal and need a goal quickly. Doku again going against Wan-Bissaka. No joy there. Amrabat all over him as well. Back to Alvarez now. He plays it across to Akanji, round about 35, 40 yards out. To Kyle Walker. He's going to have another ping. It's a brilliant save again from Onana. Oh. And luckily for Man United, McTominay was alert to the ball and cleared it, but I think there's an offside as the shot came in. But again, Onana stretching to his right and making a very good save, Billy.
Brilliant stretch, wasn't it, to get there?
Yeah, Haaland's offside, yeah.
Yeah, offside, yeah. And as soon as he goes to the ball.
Yeah, he's active, isn't he? So
yeah.
But again, really good strong hand by Onana. And to be fair to McTominay, he was quick to get to that rebound as well, although it was offside. And you just get the feeling now that this is not, as Bruno Fernandes throws himself to the floor. There's a surprise. Oh, he must have broken his rib there, Billy.
Yeah, maybe his tooth fucking embedded into it.
Long ball again, out to Doku, but Wan-Bissaka is there, but it's not a great header from Wan-Bissaka. Doku collects the ball. Garnacho's all over him. It's still Doku. Doku running across the side of the well, that's a push. That's a push. Come on.
Let's give it as well. Yeah, let's give it.
I mean, I don't know what Man United are complaining about there. It was a clear push. And they want to shut up, really, because they've got away with a penalty. I mean, Amrabat is the worst tackler I've ever seen. I mean, it's a clear... Look at that. How can they say it wasn't a foul? Oh, dear. Well, this is a really good position. Now, if Man City can just grab one back here, Billy or Alex, it is game on.
It's got to be something good to beat.
I'm not getting my hopes up.
Well, I wouldn't expect any hopes.
Proud in the referee as well for that free kick decision beforehand.
Yeah.
They do need a yellow card for that. You shouldn't be doing that.
No yellow card. And Alvarez, Phil Foden, Kyle Walker are all over the ball. It's going to be one of those three. I would think probably Alvarez will take this, but we'll see. No, City are not throwing the game. Yeah, me. How can we say they've thrown the game when they've dominated the second half? ACM, thank you for your super chat. It's Foden to hit it. It hits the wall. Comes back to Alvarez. Plays it wide, but Wan-Bissaka is there to intercept. Now Manchester City could break quickly, but Guardiola stops that from happening.
Poor for Man City. Really poor free kick.
Yeah. I mean, look, whatever you think, Linda's right. Linda Kershaw says, well, the Toon should have never had to rely on Man City. Simple as that. And when we look back, it's perfectly a sensible comment to make because we shouldn't have been in this position. With 3 games to go, everything was in our hands to qualify for Europe, and we blew it. So we've only got ourselves to blame.
I mean, we did finish above Manchester United in the league. The problem is we let Chelsea get in front of us by 3 points. That's the problem. We needed one more win instead of a loss, and then we were in 6th place. It's just it's a shame. The 8th place team potentially win a trophy, gets them the European place. Chelsea get conference, and we get nothing.
I mean,
hasn't happened in years, but
it's given a free kick for that, and it's nowhere near as much as a free kick than the one in the penalty area was 4 minutes ago.
I mean, we all know at the start of the season, you win the FA Cup, you get a place in Europe. It's as simple as that. 10 minutes are left in the game of normal time. Manchester United with a very dangerous free kick here, which I think Bruno Fernandes will have a go here from this position. Here he comes. He has hit it and straight at Ortega, who collects it really well. Tries to get on with the game really quickly and get Manchester City forward, but he doesn't. And he lays it out to Kyle Walker now. I mean, I don't think this is going to be City or our day, to be honest, guys. I think I just can't see City getting back into this now.
Well, they haven't created enough, have they? Nowhere near enough.
Yeah. But I guess you do never say never with Manchester City. But the way this game's gone, I mean, here's Rodri powering into the box across to Foden, but he can't take it again and cleared again by Manchester United.
Absolutely horseshit today. Horseshit.
Yeah. Doku now on the far side, trying something different, running a Dallo, skips the ball past him, gets the cross in, and it's Johnny Evans to clear it, corner to Manchester City.
Good play from Doku, that. Going on the outside of
Yeah, lovely piece of skill, wasn't it?
Mm.
I mean, it's amazing. People in the comments saying how out. I mean, it's not Eddie Howe's giveaway. Long ball again to the back post, and Nana gets a good fist on that to clear it. I mean, you're guaranteed if Manchester City won this game, people would be in the chat saying, oh, Eddie Howe did brilliantly to get us where we were, given the injuries.
Oh, what's your that for?
Well, it ended up being the right move because Rasmus Højlund's on the go now. Kyle Walker comes across and tackles him, and that's going to be a throw to Manchester City. Oh, it's Garnacho, and he's gone down injured. Of course he has. I mean, you're not hurt there, pal. You're just not hurt. But then again, I'm sure we'd be doing the same if we were 2-0 up. We'd be trying every shithouse move to hang on to the lead, so... I mean, the Man United fans, I don't think any of them realistically expected to turn up today and beat the blue side of Manchester, Billy. I just don't think they thought that was possible.
No, I don't think they would have thought they could have kept him out. I mean, there's no way on God's earth they'd have thought they'd be keeping a clean sheet after 83 minutes. It's been a really good performance from them. You've got to give them credit. I hate doing it, but they've come to the cup final and defended like lions and took their chance on the break. It's Manchester United football, counter-attack, low block stuff, and it's worked from today.
Bruno Fernandes to take the free kick for Manchester United. Smashes it across to that far side. Headed back across by Varane, and Johnny Evans gets a foot on it, and it's given us a goal kick. 7 minutes of normal time left, Alex. Can you see anything happening? A miracle?
No, unfortunately not. There's been a lot of talk over this, especially the second half, about what this means for us next season. I guess it means fewer games. We can concentrate on the league a bit more. So as we've said, we can kind of push at that top four again. I think we had enough this season to qualify for the top four without the injuries, and obviously, hopefully, we won't get as many next season. We'll have Tonali back on top of that, so maybe we can try and push for an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup again next year.
Yeah, but it's who is going to stay? That you mentioned this earlier on in the show.
I don't think it will be terrible. I don't think it will have too much bearing on it. Again, it is only the Conference League. It's still really fun to play in Europe. It gives you more fixtures. However, it's not the pinnacle of football, and it's not going to. It won't be the be all to end all of players like Bruno, but it definitely would have helped a little bit. So I don't know. I don't think it'll have too much bearing. I think if Bruno's going to go, he's going to go. It doesn't matter as much. But it just hurts with it having reduced fixtures. It's nice having extra fixtures. It's good for the squad to get used to having to play that many games every year. We want to be in that position. So, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens this summer.
I mean, you know what it is. I mean, like Billy says, as much as it pains to me to say this, Manchester United have deserved this. And, whichever way you look at it, they have deserved to win today.
Game management's been outstanding.
Yeah.
There's something you don't say about them very often, but because they got the first goal, they're able to defend more and hit them, develop it more on the counter. They've got 2 goals, and to be honest, Man City have looked like scoring on 1 or 2 occasions. They haven't been the usual Man City. They used to have about 15 shots on goal per game. I don't think they've had that anywhere near that today.
No. But it is disappointing for us. I mean, I really wanted us to be in Europe. I really did. I mean, Foden's took a dive there. The referee's fallen right into that. The ball was long gone, and Foden threw himself to the floor.
Foden's been absolutely dreadful today.
He has. Samsonite Dove, thank you for your super chat. No conference means Richie and Dummett out. Silver lining. Keith Truscott, thank you for your has this saved Ten Hag's job? Well, not if a decision was already made, but they said that about Louis van Gaal as well, and he was sacked. So who knows? Who gives a shit, to be honest? I'm bothered about Newcastle.
People misheard what I said as well. Somebody saying I was making excuses, and guys, this is recorded, so if you it's on camera, I can back up what I've said, and I didn't say that. It's not making excuses. It may or may not have an impact on the summer. It will probably have an impact a little bit on recruitment in terms of top end recruitment, or maybe an additional player coming in.
Oh, Doku scored!
Oh, goal!
Doku has scored, and Onana will. I mean, there you go again. Onana should have saved that at the near post, and he is prone to doing that time and time again. And suddenly, Man City have a lifeline with just under 4 minutes to go in the game. It is City 1, Man United 2, Billy.
Yeah, it was a poor bit of goalkeeping. Doku skipped inside, as he's done every time he's had the ball, really. This time he thought, I'm going for goal, sod it. It was a squirty type shot at the near post, and I think Onana's
got to do better.
He's dived over it, hasn't he? He's dived over it.
That is poor goalkeeping again. And how many times have we seen this with Onana in his near post, though?
Dreadful. I mean,
he gets 2 hands to it as well, and he's pushed it into the corner.
Yeah,
shocking goalkeeping, that.
Awful. Come on, City, you can do this.
Go on, then.
Oh.
What about 8 or 9 minutes injury time?
As they say in the darts, game on!
Get Granny on ball.
City. We're back underway. And now Man United will have squeaky bums. There's no doubt about that. Man City will not give this up. It's back with Ortega in the City goal now. He will want to get on with it. Gives it to Akanji. Akanji brings it forward. Man United now will definitely go into their shell. And a big opportunity. Mark the Celt, welcome to Members Club again. I think that's a renewal, but welcome back. Akanji now plays it out wide for Doku again. Doku running against Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka stays with him. Doku going left, going right, plays it across. It doesn't bounce kindly. It's still there sitting just cleared away from Manchester United. And again, City asking questions and come back again with Doku. He's coming into the box again. Doku onto his right. The doesn't put a foot in. Doku shot is blocked by Arambat and hammered into the air from Garnacho. City are really all over them now. And it's back with Akanji. Now, Guardiola again. Rodri plays it across to Kyle Walker. Here comes City again. John Stones.
How much injury time there is, because if it's as corrupt as we think it is, it won't be much. But it should be about 7-8 minutes, really.
Yeah, here's Doku now for City again on this left-hand side. Plays it back. It's Guardiola. Plays it into Foden. Foden's touch is god-awful for Rodri, but he recovers. Back to Doku again. Two Man United players close on him. Doku across to Foden. Terrible touch again.
Dreadful, hasn't he?
And now Kyle Walker has to go all the way back. We're inside the final minute of normal time. Manchester City 1, Manchester United 2. Is there another big opportunity for Manchester City? Rodri plays it across to Akanji. He can go across again to Alvarez. Alvarez cuts in on his left foot again, lays it off to Rodri. Rodri clips one to the left again for Doku. Doku back to Guardiola. His control isn't great, but manages to get it to Akanji. Akanji will hit it, and it's miles over the bar.
That's piss poor.
That is the story of City's game so far. But we're about to see how much injury time there is going to be. I hope there's about 15 minutes.
Game's done. If Aston Villa supporter, no, you won't be getting Gordon and Isak. Absolutely no chance of that. You've got to sell, actually.
We bought Isak for 70, and now he's proven. So
who's that just been
put 50 on top of that at least? You can't afford it, I'm afraid. You can't even afford one of them. Never mind two.
Pep's assistant's just got a yellow card, guys. 7 minutes.
I should think so as well.
7 minutes of injury time to go.
They'll be shitting their pants now, wouldn't you? Hey, fucking hell, lads.
All right, yeah, Cockneys, yeah, exactly.
7 minutes? Where they got their fucking time from?
And now it's Bruno Fernandes down the left-hand side. Plays the ball forward for Garnacho in the penalty area. This is not where we want the ball or where Man City want the ball. It's a corner to Manchester United. Oh, no, is it? I think it's going to go kick. Ooh. That looked like a corner every day of the week. But Man United are going to make two changes. Lindelof and Mason Mount are coming on. But City have got on with the game very quickly, as you would expect them to. And it's Rodri driving them forward to Jeremy Doku now. Doku once again running at Wan-Bissaka. Cuts inside, lays it off to Rodri again. Rodri to John Stones. Stones has got Bernardo Silva in acres of space, doesn't use him. Cuts back in again. They're using Doku all the time now. And why not? Here he is again. Looking to try and beat Wan-Bissaka to the byline. Corner to Manchester City. Good God Almighty.
Ten Hag did this in the semi. They brought Lindelof on to try and shore things up. And as soon as he did, Coventry scored twice. So
yeah, they did. Yeah. It's going to be a corner. In it comes. And Anana catches.
Poor corner. We don't need to sell, mate. Seriously.
Yeah, I don't think Gordon and Isak would ever look at Aston Villa. Although, to be fair, Villa are in the Champions League. You will have a bit of pulling power in the transfer window, undoubtedly.
They're only for 6 games, though, isn't they?
Yeah, well, let's be fair to them. They did qualify. And that's a City throw-in. Come on, get on with it. Get on with it. I think Man United are going to make the changes. Garnacho's coming off. Of course he is. He's going to try and walk across the pitch.
Yeah,
no, you're not, sunshine. And McTominay coming off for Mason Mount. Well, this will also be added up as well. And Mount has come on as well. I'm not sure who's come off for Lindelof. McTominay's hopping. I'm still not sure who's come off the pitch for Lindelof.
Garnacho.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Who else has gone off?
Garnacho, McTominay.
Oh, McTominay, of course, yeah. And now Doku is on the left-hand side again, but Guardiola has it for City, lays it to Doku. Doku cuts inside. Doku goes past a Rambat now. Nicely played back, but Manchester United can break with Manu. Manu now. Højlund making a brilliant run ahead of him. Akanji's back there, but Højlund's got the ball. Højlund spins back and plays it all the way back now to Amrabat. And he cleverly knocks it to Wan-Bissaka, who will probably go back to Onana here. And he does indeed. In fact, it's not. It's gone to Lindelof, then to Onana. And Onana clears left-footed up the field. Kyle Walker underneath that. Haaland looked like he was pushed there, but he's been dreadful today, Haaland. I mean, he's offered nothing, really. I mean, I know he's hit the bar, but apart from that, as Fernandes goes to beat Ortega, and not far away. Bit of shithousery there from McTominay, chucking the ball back on the pitch there. Well, we've got 3 minutes of additional time left, plus whatever the referee adds on for substitutes, etc. And the ball is not in the right part of the pitch where we want to see it. Akanji brings it forward for Manchester City to Guardiola now. Back to Akanji. Kyle Walker on the halfway line, bringing it forward again for Manchester City. Inside again to Akanji. Patient build-up this by Manchester City, but time is running out. Rodri to Doku again. Tightly marked again by Wan-Bissaka. Doku. Rodri's made a run wide of him. Doku cuts back in. Gvardiol now across to Akanji. Back to Kyle Walker. Across now to Bernardo Silva. Fernandes in front of him. Bernardo Silva trying to get a ball in on his left foot. Closed down by Bruno Fernandes. Back to Akanji. Guardiola now. City knocking on the door. 2 minutes of additional time to go in the cup final. Wide now again for Bernardo Silva. He runs at 2 Manchester United players. Bernardo Silva, that's deflected. John Stones can't keep the ball in. Goal kick to Manchester United. And that could very much be good night, Vienna. Wow. Kobbie Mainoo is man of the match. I mean, I would have given it to Dalot, to be quite honest with you, but he scored a good goal. Oh, dear. Well, City have the ball. Is there one last attempt for Manchester City as we head into the final minute of the additional 7? The ball is with Kyle Walker on the halfway line. Plays it out left now to Rodri. Rodri brings it forward. It's still Rodri as he heads towards the penalty area. Doku in support here on the left-hand side. Jeremy Doku will look to get the ball across. Man City players queuing up. Doku's crosses deep and it's kept in brilliantly. And it comes loose. Walker's hit it. It's deflected. Haaland and then cleared again by Manchester United. Rasmus Højlund is after this. And Højlund's got it. And this is it. Højlund has done brilliantly well there for Man United. And they've got men forward here. They've got loads of men forward. But Amrabat is so shit. He can't get the ball forward. But it's a free kick because Højlund was brought down.
That's nonsense.
Yellow card. And that is.
You played the advantage, then he went back 30 seconds to the free kick. Absolute bollocks. And that's the end.
It was very, very late on Højlund, to be honest. Not the greatest of tackles from Alvarez, but that's it. It's got to be that. There's not much to play now, surely. Hey dear. And the celebration's very much about to start for Manchester United. They're unbelievable. Fernandez takes the free kick, clicks it towards the far side. Well, he's just kicked it out to play, just like a rugby kick. And there it is. Manchester United win the FA Cup by beating Manchester City 2-1. And it's no European football for Newcastle United next season. Manchester United have knifed us again in the back. And so many times it is that bloody football club that ruin everything for Newcastle. But to be quite frank, they absolutely 100% deserved that today. The game plan was right. They played really well, scored a couple of goals, and did what they had to do to hang on to the game. And it finishes Man City 1, Man United 2. Billy.
Yeah, deserved win for Manchester United there. Managed the game really well, Ten Hag. Wanted a little bit more than Man City. Low block, counter-attack stuff. First half killed it for Man City. 2 goals. They tried to make a forlorn comeback in a second. Scored a late goal, but it was too late. And Pep's double dream has gone. And Man United take the FA Cup back to Old Trafford.
Alex?
No words. Sick. I know there are hidden positives, but it's very difficult to consider that now. It's I'm normally not one to be reactionary, but it's it's a shame. It's a shame that a team that have been so shady all season, so hot and cold, mid-table quality, lucky to get 8th, negative goal difference. We've beaten them twice. They get all the way through to the final. They scrape past Coventry and a lot of controversial decisions in that game. And then in this game, to be completely honest, I can't put it against them in this final. They've been better than Manchester City, and they do deserve this to win this match. And that's what it's about. So very, very tough to take. And we're just going to have to all kind of get our heads straight and regroup for the summer and next season. Yeah.
It is a real shitter. It is a real shitter. And, I guess as much as look, at the end of the day, we've said this many times, Billy, throughout the show today and millions of times before it, we should not have been in this situation. It was 3 games we had. It was all in our own hands. And we blew it at the end of the day. We didn't get the points that we should have. Yeah. And we blew it. And then we start to rely on other teams. And, of course, when you start to rely on other teams, it never goes that way.
Well, we dropped 2 points with the Paul Dummett wrestling match against Everton. And then we had to beat Brighton, didn't do so. Should never have lost to Manchester United, did do so. And we've let ourselves down this season. Injuries haven't helped. But when it was in our hands and we had more players back in the side, we still didn't help ourselves. So, you can't criticise Eddie Howe for Man United winning the FA Cup and dropping us out of Europe. But this side should really be in Europe. We were in a place in the league to do so. It's just that the cup games have gone against us. And, yeah, it's just one of those things, unfortunately. Hopefully next season, the lack of games will help us fitness-wise and we can go and do something more special next year.
Yeah. Got a couple of super chats in. First one was from Sam. Less games, stay healthy and kick ass in 24-25. And Graham Ritchie, thank you for your super chat. Very disappointing. We just need to build on this. Lessons will have been learned by Eddie. I'm pissed off we're not in Europe. I am. But I also... see the other side to it. That we've got to go into next season now. There's not going to be as many games. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we hang on to our superstars, because I think if we genuinely do hang on to those players, we can be top 4 next season. And that's not me being hopelessly optimistic. That's me being actually realistic. I think, because if we keep players fit and make a couple of additions, we're in a good position.
Depends on who we retain. It very much depends on the 2 big stars, on Isak and Bruno. I think Bruno is to a level replaceable. You're never going to be able to get... We've not got the money to buy anybody as good as him that's going to slot in. Absolutely not. It just doesn't exist. Can we offset his output to a level with a few decent players coming in? Possibly. It's Isak going. That definitely can't happen, because 100 mil for Bruno, we can reinvest. Isak has to stay. Buying a 24-year-old striker who can put 21 goals in the Premier League while he's injured quite a bit, it's Isak that I'm concerned about, because we're not going to be able to replace, because Wilson's aging out as well. So we can't lose all of our strikers. That's a lot harder to replace. So
Keith Truscott, thank you for another super chat. Come on, guys. As soon as fans, we're used to this. 2 seconds. We're used to this. We survived Ashley. We will survive this next year is the one for us. How are the lads? Yeah. I mean, look, it is disappointing, but at the same time, yeah, we've relied on other teams, and you can never do that in football because you just never know what's going to happen. And
I think we can blame a little bit of being unlucky. I think that's fair because typically 7th place gets you something. Generally, it does. It's just this year it hasn't. So it is a little bit unlucky. But is it also true that it was in our hands to get 6th? Yes, it is. So I think both things can be true at the same time. I don't think either people are right or wrong. I think both things are true.
Moggy, thank you for your super chat. No, Europe might cost us both Isak Bruno, sadly.
Could do,
No, it definitely would.
It'll be a lot of money.
Ian Toon Trader, thank you for your super chat, buddy. Hope you're well. It's not Eddie's fault we got 7th, and that's great considering. Yeah, I mean, everybody's having to go at Eddie Howe, but let's be honest, 7th place after the season we had, I think is pretty special anyway. It is, you know, yeah. Because I said this earlier on, if it had been a case of Man City winning this game and us getting into Europe, those people that are saying about Eddie Howe would have been saying quite the opposite, saying, oh, he did a brilliant job because getting us into 7th, and now we're in Europe still after the season he's had. So
exactly. Well, it's a mixed bag, isn't it? With
yeah, I mean, it's a raw emotion as well.
Well, with who's dropped the ball this season, I think it's a few things. It's Eddie Howe has made mistakes in games, 100%, with whether it's team selection, substitutions, tactics. Of course, Eddie Howe has dropped the ball in certain games, but then he's won us points in other games as well. So Eddie Howe is one. Injuries is the second one, and then individual mistakes in games, like when Trippier made some mistakes and Dummett. So it's a few things. You can't, it's a combination of all of those things. It's injuries, Eddie Howe, and individual errors at times, and then sometimes just getting beaten by a better team on the day or dropping points because of that. It's a combination of all those things. I think it's reactionary and narrow-minded to just point the finger at one of those things because it's definitely all of the above.
Yeah. Well, it is disappointing, but that's the way it's finished, guys. Thank you to everybody for joining in today. Revenger, thank you for a super chat. City decide to lose versus Man City. It's a play for them to get Bruno by kicking us out of Europe. Conspiracy theories going on all day.
Congratulations to Celtic, by the way, who have done the double in Scotland.
Yeah.
Rangers 1-0.
I'm sure I saw in the chat earlier on Rangers had scored, unless it had been disallowed. I don't know. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. Really appreciate your company this afternoon. Thank you for all the super chats. FX Pros just dropped one as well. Thank you for your super chat. Our away form has cost us. Yeah, maybe so, but it's not to be for Newcastle United for next season. No Europe. Zishan, thank you for your super chat. Gutted, but if we can keep Isak and Bruno, I genuinely believe we'll be in a title race next season, or definitely top 4.
I mean, to the Villa fan, we played you twice last season, 5-1, and what was it at Villa Park? Was it
3-0, 3-1?
3-1.
We put 8 past you over 2 legs. It's just piped down. You didn't get a lot of injuries.
Yeah. We'll see what happens next season, but it isn't to be. Thank you for all your super chats, new memberships, etc. Really do appreciate it. Mods, thank you for today. Billy and Alex, thank you for your company. And of course, to you guys out there, thank you for everything. But it is no Newcastle United European journey next season. We will have to wait another year, but we will come back stronger next year. Absolutely, we will. We will be back tomorrow night with the transfer show. So join us at that. That will be 7 o'clock tomorrow night. So looking forward to that one. But in the meantime, guys, enjoy your weekend. Europe is not to be. It finishes in the FA Cup final. Manchester City 1, Manchester United 2. Good night.
See you later, guys.
Come back and check out some green.